From Theodore Roosevelt High School in Kent, Ohio, welcome to TV2's coverage of the 100th meeting between the Revena Ravens and the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders. Hi everybody, along with my partner John Huntsman, I'm Tyler Carey. Welcome to a night that we are surely to remember for a long, long time. The 100th meeting of one of Ohio high school football's most intense games, Kent and Ravenna. Now, John, we found out about a week and a half ago that we were going to be covering this game, and of course we were psyched because we know how big this game is, not just for the players and coaches, but for the communities.
You're absolutely right, TC. I mean, these schools are only separated by a few miles. You know, it's just the parents and the family, they definitely enjoy this game, and I know they really want to come out on top and prove who's boss.
Right now, let's take a look at my keys to the game right here. I've got two main ones. First is the Roosevelt defense. I believe if they can play up to their full potential, they can be on their way to a fourth straight win in this game. If not, could be a long night for them and their fans. Now on the other side, Warren Bradley, the everything man for Ravenna. He can run, he can catch, he can throw a little bit. We spoke with Warren Bradley earlier this week to get his thoughts on this week's game.
All right, obviously this is the 100th anniversary of the rivalry. What does this kind of game mean to you?
It means everything in the world to me, honestly. It's just, we're going to have to go out here, you know, it's going to be a hostile environment. We're going to have to overcome every single obstacle and just play team ball and overcome everything.
Obviously not the start you guys wanted. You guys were able to get the win against Field. What can you guys take from that game and bring it into this game to make sure you guys get another win?
Well, it's a huge momentum builder for us, just coming off of last year, and I feel like we do have the upper hand going into this game, and we should just overcome and overpower them.
What is the atmosphere at school been like? You guys, can you feel it in the classroom? Can you feel it in the hallways?
Oh, definitely. It's just, I don't know, it's just everything's been so hyped, and especially getting the win, everything is just, the level probably is just uplifted since then, and it's just real good right now. I'm feeling real good right now.
All right, you've been part of this rivalry. This is your last time going in. What's the last thing you're going to take away walking off that field, win or loss?
Oh, win for sure. Yeah, without a doubt. I would definitely want to get the win. We definitely can get it.
All right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Now the coaches are just as entrenched in this game as the players are. We caught up with Revena assistant coach Ed Jordan, who played for the Ravens back in the 70s, to get his thoughts on the rivalry.
So obviously you've been part of this rivalry back in the day. When did you actually play this in this rivalry?
I graduated in '72 from Revena, so it's been a while. I've been a youth coach, freshman coach, junior high coach, and now I'm up here at the high school, so it's been quite a few years.
So what about this rivalry has changed since you actually played in it?
I think it's gotten more hype, and that seems like the press is more involved with it now, and it's a whole community. Even though it was a lot of community back then, it seems like everybody's involved now. And that is still a hard-hitting game. Kids enjoy it, coaches enjoy it, but it just seems like everybody wants a piece of it now.
For people that don't know about this rivalry, what can you tell them about it?
It's one of the best in the state. It's a lot of fun for, like I say, players, coaches, community, and I don't know if I'll be around for the next 100, but I hope it keeps going.
All right. And being part of the 100th, what is something you're going to take away after tomorrow night is over?
There's always memories after a game. Mostly good if you win, and you always remember that certain play or a certain thing you could have done if you don't come out in the winning. Yeah.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Now when it comes to Kent Roosevelt, the leader of their offense has to be quarterback Riley Larkin. TV2 caught up with Riley earlier in the week to see how he feels about facing his arch rival.
You've had over 6 touchdowns this season, over 1,000 passing yards. You seem to be a leader for this team. How are you preparing to go out and lead your team tomorrow night?
Well, you know, we've had a lot of good practices this week, and we keep working hard. I feel that we're right there. We're really close to being a really good football team, and we just keep working hard and keep pushing ourselves.
Okay. And then, you know, how would you describe the atmosphere between your school, the community, your team? How would you describe that?
It's a great atmosphere, obviously. It's a lot of fun playing these kind of games. It's like the highlight of all of our years, so I'm excited about it. I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm trying to enjoy it also because I know it's the last time I'm going to be able to experience it, you know, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you.
Anytime, thank you.
We caught up with former Ravenna and Kent Roosevelt students to get their thoughts on this rivalry.
I really want Roosevelt to win.
Of course, Roosevelt's going to win. Break it down for the 100th year.
I'm so ready. There's nothing better than loud crowds and talking smack during the game.
This game's huge. It is Kent versus Revena. These two communities are intertwined so much together, and there's a lot of hate, but there's a lot of love. And in any sport, it means a lot, but football is probably the biggest stage.
Overall, it was just a really nice class bonding experience to be able to like see that camaraderie in a school.
Well, I'm a proud Rough Rider for life. I graduated in 2011. Every single year on this day I get dressed up.
I hope next year with the change of the division, they keep the rivalry going.
All right, that'll do it for our pregame coverage. When we come back, kickoff of Kent Ravenna 100 coming up next.
Our number one priority is your safety.
We want to make sure that when you ride Parta, you get to your destination safely.
You can help us by letting us know if something is out of the ordinary, like if someone is acting suspicious.
Or if there's an unattended bag or package. Let the driver know, and we'll take it from there.
By keeping alert, we can make the ride safer for all of us.
And welcome back to Roosevelt Stadium. We are just about ready for kickoff, less than 2 minutes away. The sun is setting behind the trees beyond the visitor side of the field. Just had a nice performance from the Rough Rider Marching Band, and I know that my colleague John Huntsman here got a little goosebumps as they were treating us to the musical
The Notre Dame fight song.
Yes.
My favorite.
The Notre Dame Victory March. Even if you love or hate Notre Dame, you got to get goosebumps when you hear that song played in any stadium.
That is a great song, TC. I love hearing it. Absolutely.
Well, John, again, as I mentioned, we're just about ready for kickoff.
All the pregame hype, and now we've finally made it to kickoff. Can't wait.
And we have mentioned this throughout the week. As big a game as this is, the 100th game, obviously a big milestone. Unfortunately, on paper this year, both of these teams have not met the expectations that they would have hoped, both 1-3 entering this game. But this is the type of game that regardless of the record, if you win it or lose it, it could make or break your season.
You hit the nail on the head there, TC. I mean, even though these teams are both 1-3, they're playing for bragging rights, and this game right here could really determine the season for both of these two teams.
Kent Roosevelt won the coin toss, and they will receive to start the game. Brady Starkey will kick it away for the Revena Ravens. Kent Ravenna 100 is about to get underway. Let's just sit back and listen to the crowd. And we're off. Kick is going to bounce through the returner's legs and go into the end zone. That was Trayvon Richardson. And it's a touchback.
Well, TC, now we get to see what the Kent Roosevelt offense can do.
Kent Roosevelt led by Riley Larkin, the senior. This is his first year as a starting quarterback, sat behind Dustin Monaco last year. He's looked impressive in the first 4 games, but in spite of that, the record speaks for itself, just 1-3. He will be looking to add a huge resume builder tonight with a win over Revena.
Let's see how he does on this first drive there, TC.
Roosevelt coming out in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from the 20. Sends Brandon Knapp in motion, and to give us to the running back, and he finds a hole all the way down to the 28-yard line. An 8-yard gain on 1st down. That's Isaiah Jones, the senior running back. And impressive.
You know,
right
TC,
there.
we talk about the passing game, but I think it is very critical that Roosevelt establishes a key running game early on in this game.
Got to be like that in all types of football, I think, John.
Absolutely.
Ball control. Second down. Again, they go out in shotgun. 4 wide. Gives again to Jones, and he's going to get a first down all the way out to the 37-yard line, a 9-yard gain that time.
Boy, Jones making it look easy right now. See if they can keep it going.
We've talked about how good Roosevelt's offense can be. The defensive side remains to be seen. Shotgun again. 3 wide outs at the top of the picture. Jones finds a hole on the outside. He's going to pick up another Kent Roosevelt first down. About a 10-yard gain that time to the 38-yard line.
Boy, TC.
48-yard line, excuse me.
I'm sorry to cut in, TC, but it looks like Jones right now, he is a well-oiled machine. He is just finding the seams, and he's making it look easy right now against this Revena defense.
1st and 10 from their own 48. Larkin is yet to throw a pass, and this time he's going to give it to Luther Fortson on an end around. He'll get about 4 yards there to the Revena 48-yard line, and for the first time today, one of the two teams has crossed midfield. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, like I said, TC, battle of field position here. How will both teams drive the ball, and again, can they capitalize on these drives? That's going to be the key to the game, I think.
Just over exactly 1:11 gone in this first quarter. 2nd down and 6 from the Revena 48-yard line. Again, Roosevelt goes into shotgun. Jones beside Larkin, and he's going to get it here up the middle. He won't get much. Tackle is made in the middle of the field, right in the middle of the pile. Sean Roberts on the stop.
Yeah, only about through that.
Did get about 4 yards there. Or only a couple of yards, I'm sorry. 3rd down and 5.
Well, TC, let's see if this Revena defense can flex their muscles a little bit and get a big stop right here.
Kent Roosevelt fans trying to will their team to another first down. First 3rd down attempt of the game for either team. 3 wide outs at the top of your picture. Larkin will throw it left side, and it is incomplete.
He just had him. He had a nice pass there, but just couldn't come down with it.
Off the hands of Matthew Lillibridge. It was good coverage there, but it will be 4th down. And it looks like Kent Roosevelt is going to punt.
Well, that's a good way to start the game off for that Revena defense. They certainly need a stop, and now we'll see if Revena can get the ball moving here.
It's Mason Fear to punt it away for Kent Roosevelt. It's up in the air, heading toward the far sideline, and it's going to take a bit of a Revena bounce, and the Rough Riders will down it at the Revena 14-yard line. All right, Derek Cross, the junior, will lead Revena out for their first series of the game. He knows the pressure that's at stake, not just because it is Kent Roosevelt, but because Revena has not beaten Kent Roosevelt since 2010. And when you go a long period of time without beating your arch rival, we see this with games like Michigan, Ohio State, like Notre Dame, USC. The pressure starts to get on you as a football team and as a coaching staff. He knows how important this is for his team and for the community.
Absolutely right, TC.
I formation on 1st down. He's going to give it to Warren Bradley. You're going to hear his name a lot tonight. He's going to get to the 18-yard line, about a 3-yard gain.
And hear his name you will, TC, Warren Bradley. He is their MO. He is their MVP. Let's see. It'll be interesting to see how he gets going early on in this game.
You will see him run. You will see him catch passes. You will see him maybe even throw a couple passes tonight. He is listed as Revena's backup quarterback, so he certainly has the ability. 2nd down and 6 from the 18-yard line. Bradley gets it again. Up the gut, right into the line. Got past the 20, a gain of about 3, and it will be 3rd and short coming up for the Ravens.
Another big key 3rd down here early on in the game. This game, I think, could definitely come down to 3rd down conversions. Let's see if the Ravens can convert here.
We've talked about Roosevelt's defense during this past week. That was the key to them winning the Metro last year. has not been up to par so far this season. Can they get up? Can they get a big third down stop here? 3rd down and 2 from the 22-yard line. Bradley, I don't think he got it.
I don't think he got it either, TC. It's going to be awfully close. Depends on the spot here.
Right into a wall of red. And it will be 4th and 1.
Just a nice stop right there by the Roosevelt defense. Certainly a way to start out the game.
And head coach Jim Lenardi is going to send out the punt team. Shane Polidoro, number 32, will punt this away. Luther Fortson at his own 45-yard line, back to return for the Rough Riders. Bit of a rugby-style punt. Line drive. Fortson will let it go. Takes a Revena roll, and they will down it at the Roosevelt 32-yard line, and that is where Riley Larkin and the Rough Rider offense will start with no score, 7:55 left in the first quarter. Well, John, for 2 drives, not much to speak of offensively. What do you think so far?
Well, I mean, the defense has certainly got a key stop like we just saw right there, Kent Roosevelt. So I think, again, it's just the nerves certainly play a factor in this game, but I think now will be interesting to see, can the offenses move the ball and establish an early lead?
Riley Larkin will get his chance here. 1st down and 10 from his own 22. Gives it to Isaiah Jones. Another nice run for him, twisting and turning his way. I think forward progress got him to about the 36-yard line. Or that was Luther Fortson, I'm sorry.
Fortson definitely trying so hard to get those extra yards.
My apologies, that was Luther Fortson on the run. 2nd down and 8. He got 2 yards on the play to the 32.
Let's see what type of play Coach King has set up right here for the Rough Riders.
4 wide. Larkin will run it, finds a hole, running toward the sidelines. He's going to get a 1st down and a little bit more near midfield.
Nice job by the Roosevelt lineman to get the key blocks there, and then Larkin, he does the rest and gets a big-time 1st down.
Another 1st down for Kent Roosevelt. They're going to mark him out at the 45-yard line. Nonetheless, it is 1st and 10. Huddle up here. We need, excuse me. They will now go 3 wide for the first time tonight. Fortson goes outside. Jones will get this one. Finds another hole and another 1st down. It looks like it's going to be close for the senior running back, Isaiah Jones. This kid is having a game so far.
You're not kidding, TC. He is running with authority right now, and it just doesn't seem like Revena has much of an answer for him so far.
Still early, but we shall see if they can adjust. They're going to mark him just short of the marker, and they're going to bring out the chain gang.
Looks like he's awfully close. Not sure if he got it. What do you think, TC?
Ball is, the nose of the football is right on the 45-yard line. It's all going to come down to the chains.
He's a little short.
He's about 6 inches short. And it will be 2nd and inches to go for Kent Roosevelt. Well, we talked about how big Riley Larkin has been for this offense. He's had a couple of 300-yard passing games, but thus far it's been the running game of Kent Roosevelt. They've only thrown 1 pass for an incompletion.
Right, old-fashioned football, ground and pound on the running game, and so far it's working for the Rough Riders.
7:04 to play in the first quarter. 2nd and short. 2 wide outs at the top of your picture. Jones and Fortson on either side of Larkin. He'll go back to throw. Going down the right side. It is caught. Brought down inside the 10, or will he's finally brought down inside the 5-yard line. Alec Mastroianni, the senior, with a big reception, and it will be 1st and goal for Kent Roosevelt.
And boy, TC, did Riley Larkin throw that ball or what? That was right on the money. And Mastrone, he almost got into the end zone on that one.
All right, 1st and goal for the Rough Riders at the 3-yard line. Again, they go 3 wide in the shotgun. Fortson goes in motion. Give us to Jones. Right side, touchdown, Kent Roosevelt.
Boy, that's the way to start off the game there, TC. Jones is just making it look easy, like I mentioned before, against the Revena defense, and they draw first blood.
It's been the Isaiah Jones show thus far in the first quarter, and the Rough Riders strike first. It's 6-0. Mason Fear will try for the extra point. This is certainly not a given in high school football.
Oh, got a flag.
And we've got a penalty flag.
Probably a false start, I assume.
And it is a false start against Roosevelt. Push it back 5 yards. Turn this into a 25-yard extra point try. As I mentioned, this seems automatic in football. You watch big-time college games, NFL, not in high school, so this could be big. And we have another flag.
Boy, that'll drive a coach crazy right there.
Oh, man, that is... Coaches hate penalties regardless, but on an extra point...
Now it's like a field goal attempt.
30 yards now, and Tim King cannot be happy with that one.
Certainly. All right,
here we go again. Mason Fear from 30 yards out for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 Kent Roosevelt with 6:32 remaining in the first quarter. Oh, John, what do you think of that drive?
Boy, that was just a great job by Jones. I mean, Jones pretty much did it all. He ran the ball, got that big pass, and then, of course, got in the end zone.
Yes, Isaiah Jones, the big man running it up the gut all day, but the big catch by Alec Mastroian on that one set it up.
Well, I think the nerves are certainly at Roosevelt now, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I would say so. But again, the key is, can their defense step up? They got a big 3rd down stop on the first drive. They have been known to give up points. They gave up a lot of points to Copley. They gave up a lot to Stowe. They gave up 35 last week to Coventry.
Exactly. So the defense now, they got to come up with a big stop now for the Rough Riders.
That would certainly swing momentum squarely. The Big Mo, as Richard Nixon used to say, squarely with the Rough Riders. Mason Fear will kick it away. Warren Bradley and Maurice Dentigence back to return for Revena.
One return right here could change the whole complexion of this game.
Kick is away. It's a good one. And that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback, and the Ravens will start at the 20. We talked a lot about the coaches here, too. The coaching situations tonight, you've got Jim Lenardi on the Revena side in his 13th year. He has won 73 games since taking over for Revena, 6-6 as the Ravens head coach. Certainly has a lot of experience and a good resume. On the other side, you have Tim King, his first season as the Kent Roosevelt head coach, replacing the legendary John Nemec, 29 seasons as the head coach here. This is his first taste of this rivalry, and so far, I think he's answered the call.
Absolutely, TC.
Give is going to be to the... No, excuse me, that's Derek Cross on the keeper. Good fake, and he's going to pick up a first down, a 12-yard gain at the 32-yard line.
Boy, way to read that by Cross right there. He got a nice gain on that play.
Great option run by the junior quarterback. And Revena picks up their first down of the ball game. .6:25 remaining in the first quarter. First down and 10. Cross, another option play, and he is stuffed at the line.
They got Bradley on that one.
It will be 2nd and long. Nicholas Condos in on the tackle.
Well, again, let's see if Cross can challenge that Roosevelt defense with a big old pass here.
2nd down and 9. They're in almost sort of a triple option set like you see Navy or Georgia Tech run. He'll go back to throw here, throwing right side. The pass is caught. Very close to a 1st down marker.
Looks like he's just going to be about a yard shy.
Rylan Notch on the reception. Keith Abercrombie on the tackle, and it will be 3rd and 1.
All right, well, let's see. Can the Roosevelt defense come up with a stop here?
They did on the last drive. Another 3rd and short for Revena. Bradley is the deep back. 2 wide. Bradley gets it, goes into the line. No! It's another keeper by Cross. Oh, my goodness. He faked us all out again.
Boy, did he put a move on that guy. Man, oh, man. He fooled all of us, TC.
Derek Cross doing his best Braxton Miller impression and getting a 1st down in Revena in Roosevelt territory.
Like I said, TC, with Roosevelt, they just got to drive. Now let's see if Revena can get an answer here.
1st and 10 from the 46. What a fake by Cross. I can't get over that. Shotgun set here. Fake the end around. Bradley gets it up the gut for about 5 yards. Gets it to the 42-yard line. About a 4-yard gain on the play. 2nd down.
Again, this is, like I said before, a battlefield position here. Can Revena capitalize?
It's moments like this, after you give up the touchdown, can you answer back and keep the momentum even or even bring it back in your favor? 2nd and 6. Cross with Bradley to his left. And there's going to be a false start. That was on the left tackle, Connor Brown, it looked like. Tripped up and landed at his knee, and that's going to bring it back 5 yards. 2nd down and 11.
Well, that's not what you want as a head coach.
First penalty of the game for Revena.
Well,
up 2nd and long, and now the coaching staff going to give the players the game plan here, and now here we go. I formation set now. Bradley is deep. Willie Ross is the fullback. Cross gives to Bradley, running up the middle for a very nice gain inside the Roosevelt 40-yard line to the 39, gain of about 8 yards.
Well, like I said, TC, with Warren Bradley, he's a big playmaker, man. If he makes a guy miss, forget about it.
And we are going to take it. We have an injury on the field. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back right after this.
For over 3 generations, the Duma family has been serving fresh meats and deli products to the people of Portage County.
Hi, I'm Dave Duma. Our family-operated business is our livelihood. And when it comes to banking, we bank with Portage Community Bank. We are treated as if we are the only customers of the bank. When I talked to Kevin about borrowing money, he said, Dave, just remember, we do not loan money to businesses, we loan money to people.
Stop by today to see how we can serve you.
Stay connected to Kent Wired wherever, whenever. Breaking news, local deals, and more free for your Apple or Android device.
All right, we're back from the injury timeout. This will be 3rd down and 3 for Revena.
Well, can Revena convert here? Let's find out.
This to the running back, and I don't know if he got there.
I don't think he did either, TC. A host of Rough Riders on that play.
That looked like Willie Ross on the run. The fullback, I don't know if he got the 1st down, and now this will be they're going to mark him short, about 1.5 yards short, and now decision time for Jim Lenardi. Do you go for it here?
I'm not sure if he will, or if he might try to draw him off sides and try to pick up a 1st down.
In a big game like, I know it is early, in a big game like this, inside your opponent's 40, you might want to think about going for it.
Yeah, you got to take chance, especially in a big rivalry game like this. What do you have to lose?
I am not the head coach of Revena, so we will see. And it does look like they're going for it. Warren Bradley is lined up as the quarterback. 4th down and 2. He gets it, Wildcat set, and he's going to pick up the 1st down inside the Roosevelt 35-yard line.
Way to read the defense on that one by Bradley. Big time 4th down conversion right there.
Those are the kind of things that can make a difference in big games like this. And the Revena drive continues. We are under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter here at Roosevelt Stadium. Fans are still filing into their seats in what has been hyped up as a massive game, the 100th in this rivalry. Of course, it's always a massive game.
Absolutely. You got Kent, Ravenna. What could be better?
All right, Derek Cross, and we've got a penalty flag.
Looks like the official was pointing towards the defense, so let's find out here.
And it is against Roosevelt, 5 yards. And that will make it 1st and 5. Third penalty of the game for Roosevelt. They have 2 on that extra point try. Cross will come out in the shotgun. 1st down. He goes back to throw with time, throwing deep down the left side, incomplete, intended for Cameron Hinton.
Yeah, Hinton was wide open. Like you said, TC, Hinton was wide open, and Cross just missed him on that play.
Revena has completed just 1 pass today, as has Roosevelt. Still early, inside the 35. 2nd and 5. And we have another penalty flag, and they are pointing offsides against Roosevelt. And that is going to make it 1st down Revena without even gaining a yard themselves.
Boy, that is a coach's nightmare. When you have penalties like that and you just give them free yards, that is definitely a big-time mistake.
4 penalties already for Kent Roosevelt, and we are still in the first quarter. First down and 10. From the Roosevelt 24-yard line.
Well, again, TC, like I said, Roosevelt is shooting themselves in the foot right now, and Revena, they're knocking on the doorstep. Let's see if they can cash it in here.
In games like this, there's 2 things you don't want to have the most of: turnovers and penalties. 1st down. Cross will give it to Bradley on the fake end around, and he's going to bully his way to the 20-yard line. About a 4 or 5 yard gain on the play. And they will mark him at the 20, 2nd down and 6. Sun is just about gone here in Kent.
Boy, TC, it's such a beautiful evening for some football.
Gorgeous evening. Gonna be tough covering these games late October, early November, when we start to get the colder weather.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
2nd down and 6 from the 20. Cross will fake it again, running left. There's a pitch and a juke move, and he is going to get to the 12-yard line for a 1st down. Bobby Voyers on that run. And that will be a Revena 1st down at the 12-yard line as their march toward that Rough Rider goal line continues.
Now, if you're Revena, you have to capitalize here. You've established a really good drive, which, of course, was helped by those penalties. But now this is a chance for Revena to tie this game up.
A couple of substitutions coming into the game now. Jordan Peppard is back in on the line. Warren Bradley again lined up as the quarterback, as he was on that 4th down play. High snap, and he will run up the middle, finds a hole, and he's going to get down to the 2-yard line, and that should be a 1st and goal.
Well, now if you're Revena, it's Warren Bradley time. Let's see if he can pound it in the end zone.
We talked about this before the game. I mentioned him as one of my keys to this game. He can do everything, and if Roosevelt cannot stop him, they are going to have some major problems winning this game tonight.
You're absolutely right, TC. It's going to be a long night for Roosevelt if they can't contain him.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Bradley still lined up as the quarterback. He will run it up the middle, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens.
Well, what an answer for that Revena Ravens offense, man. They just drove it right down the field, and now got a whole new ballgame, TC.
Roosevelt took the early momentum, but thanks to some nice fake plays by Derek Cross, some penalties that are not going to make Coach King happy, and the running of Warren Bradley, the Revena Ravens just grabbed it right back. Brady Starkey will come on for the extra point to tie this game. And they're going to fake it. Throw is into the end zone, and it is caught, but out of bounds by Cameron Hinton. Too long. It was a good pass by Bobby Boyers, the holder, but instead, the Ravens cannot capitalize, and the Rough Riders still lead 7-6 with 1:12 remaining in the first quarter.
But TC, I like how Revena took a chance on that one, trying to go for two, trying to throw off that Roosevelt defense. Unfortunately, they just couldn't come up with the conversion.
That could come back to bite them, however. Going for two a little bit early, some would find that questionable. And if you end up losing this game by a point, Jim Lenardi will certainly have to answer for that. Nonetheless, Revena does get the touchdown, and they are on the board. It's now 7-6.
Well, now, I know we talked about the Roosevelt defense. What about the Revena defense? Can they come up with the stop and get the ball back and let their offense go back to work?
May have to start seeing Riley Larkin air it out a little bit. Of course, the way Isaiah Jones has been playing so far, he may not have to. Starkey will kick it away. The student section goes into the 7 Nation Army chant that's become popular at football stadiums across the country. Kick is away. It's going to be and two Roosevelt returnmen ran into each other, and that's going to be a touchback. My fundamental mistakes hurting Roosevelt early on.
You're right, TC. That would have been a huge disaster for Roosevelt. And luckily, the ball went right back in the end zone.
They're lucky it didn't hit off one of their helmets.
You're not kidding. That would have been disaster.
Certainly, I would have to guess Tim King is going to give them a lesson on fundamentals during halftime. Probably going to be using a lot of 4-letter words I can't repeat on the air right now. Such is the case with football coaches.
That's right. Coaches aren't afraid to voice their opinions.
You're not kidding. All right, 1st and 10 from the 20. And Jones is going to get the carry again. He's going to, impressive job by him just to get 4 yards. He was hit almost immediately after getting the handoff.
Brought with him a couple of Revena defenders right there.
It will be 2nd and 6 from the 24-yard line. Larkin has thrown just 2 passes so far tonight, has completed 1 of them. That was the long one to Mastroni that set up the touchdown.
Might end up being the last play of the quarter. We'll find out here.
2nd down, and we have another penalty flag. This could be against Roosevelt again.
Looks like number 12 moved, and I think that's
another penalty, their 5th penalty of the quarter.
Boy, that's going to drive Coach King crazy on those penalties.
Well, the good news here is that they have had all those penalties and those mistakes, and yet they are still in the lead 7-6. So if they can right those mistakes, then perhaps they could be on their way to a big win here. But so far, that has not been the case.
Right. This will be the last play of the quarter.
15 seconds left in the first quarter. Should be the final play. Fortson goes in motion, and he'll get the pitch, and he is going to be stuffed behind the line, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Our score from Roosevelt Stadium, Kent Roosevelt 7, Revena 6. We'll be back for the second quarter after these messages.
Robinson Memorial Hospital, the leading healthcare provider for Portage County, offers convenient access to 9 outpatient centers in 7 locations. We offer state-of-the-art medical facilities to meet all of your healthcare needs, whether it be an annual well visit, ongoing treatments and therapies, or major surgeries. There is no need to travel far when Robinson brings medical experts to you.
Here at PARTA, our #1 priority is your safety.
We want to make sure that when you ride PARTA, you get to your destination safely.
You can help us by letting us know if something is out of the ordinary, like if someone is acting suspicious.
or with an unattended bag or package. Let the driver know, and we'll take it from there.
By keeping alert, we can make the ride safer for all of us.
And welcome back for the start of the second quarter here at Roosevelt Stadium. Kent Roosevelt leading 7-6 over Revena in the 100th edition of this great game. 3rd and 14 from their own 16 as Riley Larkin goes back to throw. He's going to throw deep down the left sideline, and there's a penalty flag. The pass is incomplete, but I think there might have been pass interference against Cameron Hinton.
Exactly right, TC. I think there might have been pass interference on that one.
Pass was intended for Alec Mastroni. I did see him grab the jersey.
And they're clapping, so it looks like it's on Revena.
We'll check here. And it is holding against Revena, not pass interference. So I still trying to figure it out here. Again, that Roosevelt will have another play. The holding call will bring it up to the 26-yard line. That will make it 3rd and 4 now, a 10-yard penalty.
Now much more manageable down right here for the Rough Riders.
Pass was again intended for Mastroni, but you could see Hinton grabbing his jersey all day long, and they're going to call you on that every time. 3rd and 4. 2 wide outs at the bottom of your screen. Fortson goes in motion. Jones gets the carry, but he's barely going to get past the line of scrimmage, and it will be 4th down coming up for the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders, and a big stop by the Raven defense.
You're exactly right, TC. That was a big stop for Revena. Now let's see if the offense can carry them and possibly take the lead in this game.
Warren Bradley can do what he did on that last drive. Maurice Dentigence back to return on the left side. The punt was almost blocked.
You're right, TC.
And it's going to go over Dentigence's head, and this is going to work out, and he will return it, though. And he is going to be met by a sea of red at the 27-yard line. That's for forward progress stop. They may mark him back further.
Nice job by Roosevelt there to make a big stop there.
Almost a disaster. It was nearly blocked. Short punt. But it did take a nice roll, and now it will be Revena football at their own 25. Derek Cross come out now. Shotgun set. And he's going to give it to Warren Bradley, and he's going to be stuffed behind the line. Oh, what a stop. I think that was Isaiah Jones. He can run the ball and he can tackle too, John.
He's a two-headed monster, TC. He is making his presence felt here tonight.
I'd argue he's been Roosevelt's MVP so far.
I wouldn't argue with that logic.
2nd down and 13 from their own 22. Revena has not had to pass much today, but in these situations, you may have to think about it. They go 4 wide this time. Tony Lewis was set in motion to the top of your screen. Fake to Bradley, dumps it off. Bobby Voyers finds a hole, and he's going to get the 1st down, and a lot more still on his feet. Spinning his way down to the Roosevelt 44-yard line, and a 1st down for the Ravens as the fans go wild.
What a nice play right there. Revena now deep in territory, but it looks like there's an injury on the field. It looks like a Roosevelt player down.
Yes, a Roosevelt player is down. We are going to take a timeout for the injury. We will be back after these messages.
If our lives are getting so much better, why has banking fallen so far behind? With monthly fees and bad service.
Welcome to Megabank. Please hold.
Welcome to Kasasa. Free checking with monthly rewards, refunds on ATM fees, and your choice of cash or extra money to save. Upgrade to a free Kasasa account today. Carried locally at Portage Community Bank. Do you Kasasa?
Robinson Memorial Hospital, the leading healthcare provider for Portage County, offers convenient access to 9 outpatient centers in 7 locations. We offer state-of-the-art medical facilities to meet all of your healthcare needs, whether it be an annual well visit, ongoing treatments and therapies, or major surgeries. There's no need to travel far when Robinson brings medical experts to you.
Welcome back to Roosevelt Stadium. 2 Roosevelt players injured on that play coming off the field. Nick Kondos got up pretty quick.
Number 72, Frank Brown, also returning to the sideline for the Rough Riders.
Both walking off on their own power. Without much assistance, hopefully they will be able to return to this game. Nonetheless, after an impressive run by Bobby Boyers on the dump-off play, it's going to be first down Revena at the Roosevelt 44-yard line. Bradley, the lone back, cross under center, and somebody jumped. Another penalty.
It looks like Roosevelt, and they did move.
Wow. An offsides flag, and that will move it to the 39-yard line, 1st and 5. That's the 6th penalty of the game.
And Roosevelt defense need to clean that up, or else it looks like they're going to be giving up a big score here.
Looks like Bradley is going to, I'm sorry, Cross is in there. Cross looking back to the sidelines for the signal. Looks like they finally have it, and we're going to get a timeout. Some confusion between the players and coaches for Revena, and they will call their first timeout of the half. I want to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Parta. Parta, going your way. Schedules are at the Student Center and the Kent Central Gateway. Visit partaonline.org. By Portage Community Bank. Portage Community Bank is a locally owned and managed bank with offices in Kent and Ravenna. PCB Neighbors is neighbors serving neighbors. Portage Community Bank now offers Casasa Reward Checking. Go to PCBbank.com for more information. PCB is FDIC insured. And by Robinson Memorial Hospital. Robinson Memorial Hospital is proud to cheer on our local athletes. To learn more about the preferred healthcare provider of Portage County, visit robinsonmemorial.com. Well, John, we've been talking about the penalties for Roosevelt. That's just something you can't do. 6 penalties, and we're barely into the second quarter. That's something you can't do if you want to win a big rivalry game like this.
You're absolutely right, TC. The penalties are killing Roosevelt right now, and they can ill afford to do that in a big game like this.
And yet they still lead by a point. First down and 5 for Revena as Derek Cross again goes under center. Sends Riley Notch in motion to the left. Flea flicker.
Oh, he's
going deep. He's got Boyers, and he makes the catch, brought down inside the 20. Bobby Boyers with his second big reception of the game, and another first down as the Revena drive continues again. They're thinking about taking the lead right here.
Boy, TC, a little bit of trickery there with the flea flicker. Those are the types of plays that if you want to win a game, you got to kind of mix it up in there in the playbook.
Roosevelt seems off guard right now. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Bradley the lone back, and a fumble! Cross fumbled the snap, but I think he pounced back on it.
That was almost disaster by the Revena offense right there. He just lost his control of the ball there.
All right, so the Ravens side breathes a sigh of relief, and it will be 2nd down and 10. Just over 9 minutes to play in the first half. Cross changes at the line. Pitch to Bradley. He finds a hole between the tackles. He's going to get down to about the 5-yard line, and that should be a 1st and goal for the Revena Ravens for the 2nd drive in a row.
It looks like those penalties are going to come back to haunt the Rough Riders here unless they can make a big 1st and goal stop here.
Well, let's not just say the penalties. The defense is getting gashed right now. Warren Bradley is running all over him.
That's what we talked about, TC, before the game. Warren Bradley, the kid has moves. He is their MVP.
He is lined up as the quarterback now. That's how they scored their first touchdown. 1st and goal from the 6. Bradley is going to be stuffed at the line.
Number 60, yes, 65, I believe.
Number 65. That might have been 60.
nonetheless a big.
Yes. We don't have his name on our roster here. We apologize for that. Nonetheless, it will be 2nd down and goal, and Kent Roosevelt calls a timeout. Well, we have seen the way we talked about before the game. We talked about the 2 keys. The Roosevelt defense. They have not so far lived up to their potential. Warren Bradley was the other key. He has more than lived up to his potential so far tonight.
Yeah, Warren Bradley, he is just making it hard for that Roosevelt defense. He's giving them fits right now. But again, Roosevelt, if they can come up with a big stop here, possibly home to a field goal, maybe a big stop, maybe that'll give that Roosevelt defense a little bit more confidence heading into the second half of the game.
We got the Roosevelt student section to our right here as they do the tomahawk chop that has become synonymous with the Florida State Seminoles football team, trying to will their team to a defensive stop.
Meanwhile, the Revena fans, they are getting pretty rowdy over there.
Well, they haven't beaten their arch rival in 4 years, and even if it is early and they are dominating so far, they're thinking, could this be the year? Could this be the year they snap that losing streak? And perhaps after that 0-3 start, could it get them back on the right track and get them back to a successful season? Won just 2 games all of last year, the worst season under Jim Lenardi. Bradley lined up as the quarterback, 2nd and goal, running left, finds a hole, and he is going to spin his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens. They take the lead. Boy, what a run by Warren Bradley.
Warren Bradley, like I said, getting in on the touchdown there. He's making it look easy right now in Roosevelt. They don't have an answer for him so far.
That makes it 12-7, and because of the missed 2-point conversion try on the fake extra point, the try for point here would be to just make it a 6-point game. Brady Starkey will attempt the try. Bobby Boyers, the holder. There's a flag on the play. The kick is up and good, but we'll check the penalty flag.
Boy, nothing else new, huh, with these penalties. Man, oh, man.
Still, I'm not sure who it's on. We're still waiting confirmation.
Movement, not quite sure.
And it is an illegal procedure against Revena, so we'll try it again. This time a 25-yard.
Like I said, TC, just like Roosevelt had 2 penalties on the extra point try, now Revena, they have their own right there.
All right, Starkey will try it again from 25 yards out to make it 13-7. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. A line drive, but it made its way through, and Revena now leads it 13-7 with 8:04 remaining in the first half.
Boy, Roosevelt, they had the opening drive. All the momentum now is with the Revena Ravens as they have scored 13 unanswered points.
The big Mo is clearly on the side of the Revena Ravens right now. And first-year coach Tim King has got to figure out a way to get his Rough Riders back on the straight and narrow.
Right, because they can't allow the game to be a shootout. They have to make key stops and just clean up those simple mistakes.
They got to stop on their first drive, or on the first Revena drive of the game. The last 2, Warren Bradley has run all over that defense. Brady Starkey will kick it away. Luther Fortson and Trayvon Richardson back to return for Kent Roosevelt. Has to be, again, the Roosevelt fans trying to will their team back in it. I would think they have to find a way to get a decent drive going here. This game could, I know it's early, but when you talk about momentum, if you can't get something here, you're in danger of this getting out of your grasp.
Especially in a rivalry game like this.
Fortson fields the line drive kickoff. Takes it up the sideline. He's got room, and he's going to ram right into a Revena defender. Got just outside the 30-yard line. And that's where the Rough Riders will start. First down and 10, down by 6.
Well, now let's see if Riley Larkin and company can get a drive going and regain the lead.
We've not yet seen Riley Larkin's passing prowess much tonight. He has the ability to air it out if he wants to. It might need a couple of big plays right now. First down and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Roosevelt now, just don't panic. Try to get a drive going here. You got plenty of time.
I formation set. First time I can remember seeing Larkin under center. And oh my goodness, Isaiah Jones is hammered in the backfield. And we got a penalty flag after the play.
Now Nathan Pritchett made that big stop there for Revena.
Him and a couple of guys in on that, but I'm not sure what we got a face mask against Revena, and that's going to give Roosevelt a first down.
Well, like I said, TC, just like Roosevelt has self-destructed, now the Revena defense gets a critical face mask penalty there. Not something you want to see for the Ravens.
And seeing a lot of the color yellow in this first half. That's not going to give him a first down. They didn't rule it they ruled that a 5-yard face mask. Remember, they don't just have the one set personal foul penalty in high school.
Official still hanging him the hanky.
They will repeat first down, but that will not give them 15 yards. That is a 5-yard penalty. Pardon me for the confusion. In high school football, they have both the 15-yard face mask and the 5-yard face mask calls.
Or if we give it to Jones
first
here.
and 8 from the 34. Pitch to Jones. He's got room, and he's going to get a nice gain. He's about a yard short of the first down at the 41-yard line.
Just like I said, TC. There's Jones again up the middle. Pretty nice gain right there. Let's see if he can break free and get a score for the Rough Riders.
Second down and 1 from the 41-yard line. Or second and 2, they're going to mark it at the 40.
Gain of 6 on the play.
Gain of 6 yards.
Second and 2.
Again, they'll go out in the eye. Jones is your deep back. And they're going to give it to the fullback.
Don't think he got it there.
He didn't get much. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. And that will make it 3rd and short for Roosevelt.
Boy, if you're the Rough Riders, you have to convert here. You can't give that ball back to the Revena offense because they've fired at will. They've scored, like I said, 13 unanswered points. So Roosevelt needs a conversion here.
This Revena defense stepping up as well early in the game. 3rd down and short from the 40-yard line. I formate 3 backs. Give us to Jones. Finds a hole to his left. I don't know if he got there. That's going to be close.
Boy, it's going to be awfully close, TC. I'm not sure.
He's short. It looks like they're marking him short. And it is 4th down.
Let's see what the Rough Riders do here.
And they're going to bring out the chains. It looks to me like he's short.
He almost broke it. He almost got the first down. So he's going to come up a little bit short on that play.
Revena is starting to feel this game slip away a little bit. Yet another drive where they come up empty, and now their struggling defense may have to yet again go up against the Revena offense that thus far is firing on all cylinders. 6 inches short. And it will be 4th down.
What does Coach King do here? I'm sure, I don't know.
And
do you punt
there's
it?
Riley Larkin. They're going for it. I guess he figures at this point they got nothing to lose.
That's right.
They want to press their luck. One could say it's a little bit early, but you know what? I kind of like this. Why not?
Take a chance. Hey, you're in a rivalry game. Both 1 and 3. Got nothing else to lose here by going for it.
All right, here we go. 4th down and inches. And we have a timeout.
Looks like it's Revena who called timeout.
It's an
there.
official timeout. Some of the chains got tangled up. And okay, it looks like we're back. I think one of the side judges might have got his foot caught on one of the chains. And okay, here we go. 4th down and less than a yard. Looks like Larkin is just going to take it himself. Quarterback sneak.
He got it.
He gets it. 1st down, Rough Riders.
Well, a huge conversion on 4th down right there. Way to take a chance on that play.
That's good for Roughriders. 1st down.
Again, in games like this, those are the kind of things that can maybe just a little bit open the door and get you back in this thing. I know they're only down 6, but they need a way to get some of that momentum back, and they might have gotten it right there. All right, 1st and 10 from the 44. Larkin going under center more on this drive. Jones gets the pitch. He's got room. Look out, and he's tripped up at midfield. Gain of about 6 or 7 on the play. That is a spotted just between the 49 and the 50-yard lines. It will be 2nd and 4.
Let's see if Roosevelt can drive down here, make something happen.
As I mentioned it before, we saw them going from the shotgun a lot on their first few drives. We now see them going under center more. Larkin going to throw it here down the right sideline, thrown behind him, and he made the catch.
Wow, what a catch right there.
Luther Fortson. You're going to hear his name a lot tonight. He is arguably their best receiver. He's got moves too. You saw him on that going behind him to make that very impressive catch, and a big 1st down for Roosevelt there.
Yeah, TC, they sold the run. Riley Larkin went right, and he found him for a big-time gain.
Saw him on a play for working on Triple F earlier this year where he went to the right, spun all the way back to the other side, and scored the touchdown. One of the highlights of the year is Jones gets the carry. Going to get a few yards. It'll be 2nd and long.
Stop number 28, Willie Ross.
Roosevelt driving here. Got to capitalize here. Cannot come away empty here.
Trying to answer back. Do you think a field goal would be worth it, or would you say they have to go for the touchdown?
I'd go for the touchdown here. I think field goal.
I don't think it's too
early. No, I think you go for it. Why not take chances?
All right. Well, we'll see what they do should they get in the situation. It's still 2nd down right here. Give us to Jones. He had to cut back, managed to get a few yards on the play, and it will be. It should be 3rd and 5 coming up here. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, I mentioned TC. I think this is 2-down territory for Roosevelt if they can't convert here.
Not sure how far Mason Fear can kick it.
Well, from where we're at, it'd be about 40 yards.
This would be about a 40-yard field goal. That is pretty long for high school.
Yes, absolutely.
If he were to. We'll see if they even have to try for that field goal. Larkin is going to be stuffed in the backfield, and you can forget about that field goal try. Way out of his range. That is 4th down.
DeJuan Barfield making a big-time sack right there.
Wow. That is not what Kent Roosevelt needed. And I think they might be going for this here, 4th and long.
Yeah, too long for field goal. I think this is the right choice here.
And at the 31-yard line, it's too close to punt it.
Exactly.
You got no choice. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first half. Revena leading Kent Roosevelt 13-7.
Let's see what Coach King has in store on this play.
4 wide. Larkin throwing deep down the left side. Incomplete, but that's going to be pass interference.
Wow.
Luther Fortson was knocked down, and that should be an automatic 1st down for the Rough Riders.
Boy, it's just a stupid penalty right there for Revena. They would have had a stop.
I'm not even sure he would have caught it.
No, I don't think he even caught. He was not even in the vicinity there.
And there is no uncatchable rule in high school. So either way, it was going to be pass interference even if the ball was 50 feet over his head.
Well, TC, looks like now the penalties are actually plaguing Revena now instead of the Rough Riders.
They will line up here Coach Lenardi's coming out on the field now.
See what's going on here.
And it will be, they haven't moved the chains yet. I would assume this is an automatic first down. And there we go. Chains are moved. That is a Rough Rider first down on the pass interference call. Be first down and 10 from the Revena 16-yard line. A big penalty there on 4th down.
Yeah,
penalties hurting both sides so far.
That's right. And now, if you're Roosevelt here, you got a golden opportunity sitting right in front of you. Time to cash it in. Take advantage of it.
3 wideouts at the bottom of your screen, and we have a whistle. Another penalty flag. False start against Roosevelt.
They've had too many of those today.
Wow. 1st and 15 now from the 21.
I can only imagine what Coach King is saying on the sideline right now.
Oh boy, I don't think, mentioned this before, I don't think we'd be allowed to air that. And again, he wouldn't be alone among football coaches of all ranks.
Oh, absolutely not.
All right, first down and 15 from the 21. Jones gets it, has some room to his left, gets inside the 15, and he's finally brought down at about the 10-yard line. Still short of a first down, but a nice run by Isaiah Jones, who continues to have a very impressive game.
And heck, he even took down the Revena defender on that play at the end.
Second down and 4 from the 10. Roosevelt trying to answer back, possibly retake the lead. 3 wideouts at the top of the picture. Larkin going to pitch it to Jones, and he fumbles the football, and I think Revena's got it. It looked like a white shirt pounced on it.
No word yet. It looks like Revena came away with
football.
Wow. Just when things were going right for Roosevelt, they turned the ball over, and now Revena takes over.
Oh, my goodness. What a disastrous play.
It looks like the coaches are discussing maybe was his knee. Let's see.
They're trying to appeal. They're saying knee was down.
Let's see what the officials say here.
Officials clearly the Kent Roosevelt side does not agree with the call, but I think it's going to stand. No replay in high school football. The officials have to overrule it based on what they see, and I don't think any of them felt the knee was down. So it will be first down, Revena Ravens.
Boy, that was just the worst type of thing that could happen for Kent Roosevelt. They got a great drive started, but they come away empty-handed, and that is just a big-time frustration for that Roosevelt coaching staff, I'm sure.
Isaiah Jones, who's had such a good game, making the mistake right there by the goal line. Wow. So momentum just like that shifts all the way back to the blue and white.
Well, about 2 minutes to go. Let's see if Revena get their 2-minute offense, see if they can come up with some points before the half.
2:11 to play in the first half. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. The ball will be spotted at the 10-yard line, where Derek Cross, we'll see if, Warren Bradley is lined up as the quarterback. Wildcat set again. They'll run it left. Finds a little bit of room, but not a lot. Bring him down after about a 3-yard gain, 2nd and long. We'll see if Revena tries to get some more points here, or if they're content with just running out the clock.
Yeah,
and
you got a
taking
13-7 lead. You don't want to cough the ball up right back to Roosevelt.
You don't want to risk throwing an interception and
Absolutely.
giving Roosevelt a chance to take the lead. Bradley taking it again. He's got some room to the right, and he's going to pick up a first down and a little bit more. Brought out of bounds just outside the 25-yard line. First down Ravens. Clock stops with 1:36 to play in a half.
Boy, Warren Bradley has done it all here tonight, and so far in this first half, and gets out of bounds there and stops the clock.
So now perhaps they could have a chance to get some more points. 26-yard line. Bradley still lined up as the Wildcat quarterback. take it. Got a little bit there to about the 30-yard line.
Let's see if Roosevelt uses their timeouts. Looks like they may not be using them.
I think it looks as if both teams may just be content, especially Revena may just be content to going into half as is. Revena will receive to start the second half to only add to their immense momentum.
Well, the offense for Roosevelt had been moving it, but now they're calling on the defense to make a big stop here.
That is going to be Boyers on the run there. He had a couple of big receptions on their last scoring drive. Going to be just short of the first down, and we're down to 58 seconds. Clock has stopped. Maybe trying to measure it. And that is why the clock has stopped. And official timeout for measurement. He looks short to me, but I cannot clearly tell from here.
Well, TC, this has been quite an interesting first half, to say the least.
It's only 13-6, so obviously one play, and it is a first down. I stand corrected. Obviously one play and Roosevelt's back in this game, but just watching it, it feels like a lot wider than 13-6. Revena has been dominating so far.
Yeah, Roosevelt has been shooting themselves in the foot, with penalties. They had that big fumble down there, which they could have scored, but they didn't. They came away empty-handed, and now Revena taking control of this game so far.
Still have over 30 minutes left to play in this game, less than a minute to go in the first half. Warren Bradley has been the quarterback throughout this whole drive. And we got a flag. They were lucky because the ball went over his head.
There goes the yellow hankies again.
Seen a lot of those tonight. That is against Revena. False start. It will be 1st and 15. 41 seconds left in the first half. And we have a timeout by Revena right here with 39 seconds to play.
Well, maybe if Revena gets a little Hail Mary here, who knows, they might get down. And
if you can get to about midfield, that would give you a realistic Hail Mary.
Right.
Perhaps they could be thinking about a field goal try. They do it. 39 seconds is not, I know it doesn't seem like much, but that is a lot of time, especially when you do have a timeout. You do have the sidelines to get out of bounds. If you can get a couple of good passes, that is plenty of time to get another score.
Let's see if old Derek Cross can test his arm strength out here.
And he is back in the game at quarterback after Warren Bradley had been in the Wildcat set for the first 21 yards of this drive.
Keep your eye on Cameron Hinton. He's wide right.
They go I formation here. 1st and 15. Bradley gets it. He's got room. But he's going to be brought down to the 35-yard line and managed to catch up to him that time. And it will be 2nd and long. And they may just be running it out here. 17 seconds, 16, 15. We'll have time for one more play. Have to run one more play. Cross going to throw it deep down the left sideline. It is incomplete, and there's still 1 second left.
I expect Revena to take a kneel down here and go to halftime.
Pass was a little bit underthrown. Intended for Tony Lewis. It will be 3rd and 11, and we will see what Revena does. They may just take a knee.
That's what it looks like right here. Cross line up in that formation.
And he will take a knee, and that will bring us to the end of the first half of Kent Ravenna 100. Our score, Revena 13, Kent Roosevelt 7. We're going to send it back to our studio in Franklin Hall for a breakdown of the game after this commercial break.
For over 3 generations, the Duma family has been serving fresh meats and deli products to the people of Portage County.
Hi, I'm Dave Duma. Our family-operated business is our livelihood. And when it comes to banking, we bank with Portage Community Bank. We are treated as if we are the only customers of the bank. When I talked to Kevin about borrowing money, he said, Dave, just remember, we do not loan money to businesses, we loan money to people.
Stop by today to see how we can serve you.
And welcome to the halftime show of the 100th anniversary of the Kent-Ravenna rivalry. I'm Sean Eiler, accompanied by Jake Young. Jake, what a first half that was.
Unbelievable. You saw two teams that really had the ability to control the game on the ground, and I think it sets up for one heck of a second half. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the highlights to see how it all went down early on in this one. As you can see there, the Rough Riders running out the 100th matchup between these two powerhouses. Isaiah Jones, this man, he gets the ball here, carries forward for a big gainer.
And then we'll pick up Luther Fortson. He gets the ball, and he added a little bit of punch, but he got punched back by the Ravens on that one.
Oh, yeah, the Ravens were there all night. You have Riley Larkin throws deep down the field. Alec Mastroeni, the big pickup. Look at this little shimmy. They cannot seem to bring him down. He's getting deep into Raven territory.
And that would set up this next play right here. Quarterback Riley Larkin hands it off to Kent's workhorse, Isaiah Jones. He takes it in for the touchdown to put Kent on top, 7-0.
But as you said, short-lived, very short-lived. Warren Bradley here gets the ball, a little spinner, look at that, into the end zone. They would go for the two-point conversion and fail, so 7-6 in favor of Kent.
But Revena will be right back at it. Quarterback Davon Fields, he keeps the ball in the play-action fake, but finds Brandon Knapp for the screen pass, who picks up big yards for the Ravens. Look at him running down there.
Oh, my goodness. They can't touch him. Look at that, scrambling all over the place. And here, look at this play right here. This is my favorite play of the first half. Little flea flicker action. Devon Field gets the ball deep, throws it down there. Brandon Knapp, he's out of bounds. Flea flicker action, running at the rivalry. I love it.
Now we'll pick things up in the second quarter. Warren Bradley, he does it all. He's playing quarterback on this one. He powers his way into the end zone for the score to give the Ravens the lead, 13-7.
Now check this one out. We got a little Kent action. Isaiah Jones, motors, mama. There goes this man. Look at this truck. Trucks him out of sideline. This would set him up in the red zone, but we have bad news here for the...
Very bad news as Isaiah Jones gets the ball from quarterback Riley Larkin on the option, but he fumbles. All that momentum going in, looking like they were going to score before the half. They could not. The halftime score, Revena is on top, 13-7. Now, how crucial was that fumble right there coming into halftime, Jake?
You can't talk about that one enough. Obviously, they not only have a chance to tie the game there, they have a chance to take the lead because they're only down 6. So huge play there in the first half.
And what do you think that means for the Ravens to get that big of a stop, knowing those guys were driving on them?
I mean, you've played sports. The momentum going in there, you get that momentum in a rivalry game like this. Huge momentum, and also, as you said, very deflating for the Rough Riders.
Now let's talk about each team's workhorse, Warren Bradley and Isaiah Jones. These guys are, I mean, not to diminish anybody else, but they are the stars on each team. They're the ones getting the ball the most. Let's talk about those guys real quick.
For sure, both big fantasy guys. I mean, if you play those guys in fantasy, you're having one heck of a night tonight. But I'll start with Warren Bradley as their team's up at the break. Warren Bradley, the Mike Trout of baseball. He brings all these tools. This kid's running for speed. He's bouncing off. You saw it 2 times in the highlights. He's spinning into the end zone. And then, of course, Mr. Jones, Isaiah for the Kent Rough Riders, power runner. Power runner. I see him get to a new level. He drives through guys. We saw him truck a couple guys in the first half, and I look forward to seeing these guys really control the tempo and the pace of the game in the second as well.
Now, Kent Roosevelt, they are at home. They're down at the half. What are your keys for them to come back? What do they need to do to win this game?
The biggest thing, and I would have to say Riley Larkin. Quarterback for the Rough Riders, I'd say if he doesn't really start controlling the tempo, have more, he needs his fingerprints a bit more on this game. I think he should, try to implement some more play actions, exploit what you have going. You have Jones is working a nice run game. If he implements the play action, I don't think the Ravens will be able to keep up with that.
Okay, thank you, Jake. That wraps things up for our halftime show. When we return, we will have kickoff in the second half of the 100th anniversary of the Kent-Roosevelt-Ravenna rivalry. Stay tuned.
Robinson Memorial Hospital, the leading healthcare provider for Portage County, offers convenient access to 9 outpatient centers in 7 locations. We offer state-of-the-art medical facilities to meet all of your healthcare needs, whether it be an annual well visit, ongoing treatments and therapies, or major surgeries. There's no need to travel far when Robinson brings medical experts to you.
Here at PARTA, our #1 priority is your safety.
We want to make sure that when you ride PARTA, you get to your destination safely.
You can help us by letting us know if something is out of the ordinary, like if someone is acting suspicious.
Or if there's an unattended bag or package, let the driver know and we'll take it from there.
By keeping alert, we can make the ride safer for all of us.
And welcome back to Roosevelt Stadium. Tonight's game is brought to you by PARTA, going your way. Schedules are at the Student Center and at Kent Central Gateway. Visit partaonline.org. And by Portage Community Bank. Portage Community Bank is a locally owned and managed bank with offices in Kent and Ravenna. PCB is neighbors serving neighbors. Portage Community Bank now offers Casasa Reward checking. Go to pcbbank.com for more information. PCB is FDIC insured. And by Robinson Memorial Hospital. Robinson Memorial Hospital is proud to cheer on our local athletes. To learn more about the preferred healthcare provider of Portage County, visit robinsonmemorial.com. We are just about ready to start the second half of Kent Ravenna 100, with Ravenna leading 13-7. John, your thoughts on that first half?
Well, again, I think, like we've been talking about all game, Roosevelt, they shot themselves in the foot. They had those penalties. They had the big fumble there right before the half. It's just, again, Roosevelt had a lead early, but then now Revena, they're back on top because of Roosevelt, and now they're capitalizing on their mistakes.
Yeah, we talk about momentum, and we were talking about this right before the end of the half. It really does seem like this game, it's 13-7, but it seems like it could be a lot more than that. Revena has dominated on both sides of the ball.
I would have to agree with that, TC. I mean, Revena, they've run the ball well. I mean, Warren Bradley, he's the MVP of this team for a reason. He's carrying them on their shoulders. Derek Cross is having a good game throwing the ball through the air. And, again, Revena seems to be well in control of this game.
Something we haven't seen much from Kent Roosevelt is Riley Larkin throwing the ball. He's been pretty good passer so far, but we haven't really seen him air it out tonight. Do you think we'll see more of that in the second half?
I would certainly think that he would do that. Again, we talk about guys like Mastrone, Lillibridge, all those guys. They need to step up if they have any chance of coming back and winning this football game.
Now, we've mentioned this before. Ravenna has not won this game, this huge, huge game, since 2010. Going into the second half on the road against their arch rival, leading by 6, do you think they're thinking about that right now?
Absolutely. I mean, when you've lost 3 in a row, you're trying to get off the schneid, and of course, right now, Ravenna, they're in control of this game. Let's see if they can continue that sort of momentum here in the second half.
Teams huddling up, trying to get their last game plan set. Again, I would assume that Tim King had a lot to, even both coaches, you could say, had a lot to tell their teams about fundamentals, turnovers, hanging on to the football.
Right.
And
certainly, though, you look at the Ravenna Ravens, you look at Jim Larney, he had to be very impressed with his team's performance, especially on defense. I mean, this was a defense. First couple games, they really didn't look too great. Of course, last week against Field, they looked really strong, and even tonight, they're playing a lot better here against the Rough Riders.
They beat Field 14-7 last week. Some of the early games were against very good teams, Aurora, Talmadge. You got to give them that. Ravenna will also receive to start the second half, and already with a 6-point lead, that's only going to bring the momentum more in their favor.
Absolutely, TC. So, I mean, again, Ravenna, you got to just keep the ball rolling and just convert the first down. Just do the little things to get the lead and sustain it for good.
All right, the halftime clock has hit 0. The officials are putting the last finishing touches on the field, and we are just about ready to start the second half. Ravenna up by 6. We mentioned Tim King in his first year as the Roosevelt head coach replaced John Nemec, who was a legend. Won more than 230 games in 29 years here, a 21-8 all-time record against Ravenna. Those are the games you win. If you beat your rival, the fans are going to love you.
Exactly. So, that was the same thing kind of with Jim Tressel back with Michigan. He found a way to win those rivalry games. And That's key for a coach.
The same reason why John Cooper at Ohio State won 111 games, more than anybody except Woody Hayes. 2-10-1 against Michigan, and for that he is not always looked on so positively by the Ohio State fans. And with Roosevelt, this is Tim King's first chance. He could certainly make a good impression if he can come back and win tonight.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half here, TC.
Mason Fear will line up for the kickoff. Back to return are Warren Bradley and Maurice Denigance. Here we go, second half of Kent Ravenna 100. Ball is fielded in the end zone, an automatic touchback, and the Ravens will start at the 20-yard line. Well, we saw a lot of Warren Bradley in the first half, running the ball both from his usual tailback spot and from the wildcat position.
Yeah, Bradley's been everywhere on the field so far in this game, and heck, even at quarterback he's done everything. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see how Roosevelt contains him in there in the second half.
I expect to hear his name a lot more in these next 24 minutes. And he will line up at tailback with Derek Cross under center, I formation, 3 wide. 1st and 10. Bradley gets the carry on first down, and he's going to get a first down. About a 12-yard gain on the first carry of the second half.
Well, that's certainly a way to start the second half right there by the running game of Revena.
Would appear that they have not missed a beat even with the break. Same formation, 2 wide outs at the bottom of your screen. I formation. Bradley again. Up toward the left side. Got about 5 yards, and that will be 2nd down and 5 from 36.
So far, really establishing a solid running game here in the second half for Revena.
We haven't seen either team really throw the ball that much. Both teams have had a couple of big receptions, but they rely on their run games.
Exactly right. Sometimes you don't need to pass the ball that much.
2nd and 4 from 37. And that is going to go to the fullback, Willie Ross. He's going to get about 3 yards on the play, very close to a first down.
It looks like he's going to be just a yard shy.
3rd and 1 from the 40.
Well, Kent Roosevelt, for every time for a stop here, first drive of the second half, it'd be right now.
This Roosevelt defense that has struggled since week 1. And they come up with a stop here.
Almost jumped there.
Bradley gets it.
And I think he got it.
And that's going to be close.
I believe he just got it.
They're going to mark him.
Looks like the ref is marking him just beyond the first down.
On the spot was a little generous. Let's give the Ravens first down. But it is a Revena first down nonetheless.
They are just doing the ground and pound football game right now for the Revena Ravens.
They are perfectly content to keep running the ball, gash this defense, and keep Roosevelt's offense off the field. Don't give them a chance to get back in the game.
Exactly, because one little mistake and Roosevelt can get right back in this thing.
I formation again.
Got a big hole.
Big hole. Lots of room to run.
Oh, still going.
Still going. Inside the 30. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Warren Bradley, what a game this young man is having.
And that is why he is your MVP. That's why he's Revena's MVP. He can do it all.
Another drive deep in Rough Rider territory. Ravens trying to blow this open. Have a little bit of an injury. It appears that a Revena lineman is making his way off the field.
Number 75 came out of the game right there.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Bradley again is the tailback, 2 wide. Cross changes at the line.
See what kind of play Revena draws up here.
Bradley again. Another nice run inside the 10. About 5 yards that time. 2nd and 5.
Well, certainly you would think that Roosevelt, they know Warren Bradley's getting the football. Got to key in on him. So far they haven't.
Well, that's the problem. They know it's coming. They can't stop it.
Exactly.
They just do not have a formula to stop this running back.
That defensive line for Roosevelt's got to be winded right now.
2nd and 5 from the 9. They've gone in the I formation this entire drive. Bradley again, not much.
Well, he wasn't going anywhere on that play. A host of Rough Riders on that one.
Frank Brown in on that along with several others.
Looks like number 50, Devon Tebow, made that play. The big fella. Making a big-time play right there.
Bradley actually lost a yard on that play. It'll be 3rd down and 6 from the 10-yard line.
Well, let's see if Roosevelt can come up with a big 3rd down stop here. They need one badly.
At least try to force a field goal attempt.
Absolutely.
Field goal would make it a 2-possession game, but we're not there yet. 3rd and 6. Fake to Bradley. Cross. Bootleg to the right. Throwing, and it's almost intercepted.
Picked. Wow.
Matthew Lillibridge tipped it. There were about 3 or 4 red shirts there. He's very lucky that didn't get picked off.
You're exactly right, TC. That would have been a huge break for that Rough Rider defense, considering what's happened on this drive.
And Starkey will come out for the field goal try. This should be about a 27-yard attempt. It would make it a 2-possession game at 16-7 should he make it. He has made, this is the first field goal attempt for either team. Each has made 1 extra point.
Let's see if Roosevelt can come up with a block or a miss right here.
And we have a timeout called by Revena, their first of the half with 8:32 to play. Well, we talked about how Roosevelt had to get their defense in check, and so far it has not happened.
That's right. Roosevelt has been gashed, particularly by Warren Bradley. He's been doing it all for Revena, but again, it's 4th down. They come up with a big stop, and man, if Revena were to miss this field goal, wow, would this be a big boost for this Roosevelt squad?
They need all the help they can get right now, and as we've mentioned several times, field goals are far from a sure thing in high school football. That's not a knock on the kickers, it's just a fact. We see it, it's not like the NFL where you see these guys making them at will. There is a little bit more pressure with these, well, not more pressure, but
right.
It is a little bit more of an uncertainty.
Exactly.
Just because
especially
of the
these rivalries. Yeah, exactly. Inexperience and a big rivalry game. Emotions definitely run
Brady
high.
Starkey from 27 yards out. It's down, and it is good. And Revena leads it 16-7, a 2-possession lead with 8:25 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Roosevelt, hey, you shouldn't feel so bad about yourself. You held them to a field goal, and now it's all about cashing in. You got to get a touchdown here to respond.
That being said, John, they did manage to make the stop.
Exactly.
But now they have to score twice. It is a 2. Revena with their largest lead of the game. As I see the Raven mascot celebrating with the fans, they are going wild. They can sense it. They haven't won this game in 4 years. They would love to win the 100th game in this rivalry.
You're not kidding, TC. Well, for Roosevelt, they got to go through the air. This is where Riley Larkin has to step up and make some big-time plays over the air.
When you start to get into a hole like this, you have no choice but to throw the ball, and Riley Larkin has shown that he can have that ability.
That's right.
Never on this big a stage, though.
No, exactly. This is a big rivalry game, and these are the types of games that you really make a name for yourself.
All right, Starkey will kick it away. Fortson and Richardson will return.
The return game's been somewhat
non-existent.
Yeah, a little.
It's either been a touchback or it's gone over their heads. You'll see that in a lot of games. Kick is away.
Short one.
Line drive, and Richardson fields it. Got blockers ahead.
Got blockers. Oh, he gets a big block there.
And, oh my goodness.
A lot of roughing going on over there.
Wrestled down, and we have a little bit of pushing and shoving between these two teams.
And you'll get that, too, in a rivalry game. That's par for the course.
On any level, whether it's NFL, college, high school, Pop Warner, you're going to see the jawing back and forth between two rivals such as this.
Exactly.
But we have to make this known because this is Roosevelt's last game in the Portage Trail Conference. They are moving to the Suburban League next year. There was some worry at some point that this game might not be played anymore, but that will not be the case. They will continue to play. And I just want to say what a great thing it is that these two schools managed to, despite the changing of conferences, as Jones gets it there, gets no game, they're going to keep this great rivalry alive.
Exactly. I mean, and why not? I mean, they're only separated by a few miles, and again, it shouldn't matter what what conference you go in.
Well, and we have an injury.
Looks like that's
down
number
on the field.
54, Trey Kaufman, I want to say.
We're going to take a break. We will be back after these messages.
For over 3 generations, the Duma family has been serving fresh meats and deli products to the people of Portage County.
Hi, I'm Dave Duma. Our family-operated business is our livelihood. And when it comes to banking, we bank with Portage Community Bank. We are treated as if we are the only customers of the bank. When I talked to Kevin about borrowing money, he said, Dave, just remember, we do not loan money to businesses, we loan money to people.
Stop by today to see how we can serve you.
Here at PARTA, our #1 priority is your safety.
We want to make sure that when you ride PARTA, you get to your destination safely.
You can help us by letting us know if something is out of the ordinary, like if someone is acting suspicious.
Or if there's an unattended bag or package, let the driver know and we'll take it from there.
By keeping alert, we can make the ride safer for all of us.
Welcome back to Roosevelt Stadium. That is number 54, Trey Kaufman, the senior lineman, limping off the field. You hate to see that in a game like this. You know, this is a game you would give your right arm to play in. Not sure what the injury is, but he is walking gingerly.
Yeah, it looks like it's nothing too severe, so it looks like he'll be getting back out here soon.
We shall see. I'm not sure what it was.
Possibly it looks like maybe an ankle injury or something with the leg, I would assume. Maybe a cramp, perhaps.
All right, it will be 2nd down and 9 for Kent Roosevelt. On their own 33, down by 9. This is the 100th meeting of Kent and Ravenna.
All right, Larkin, let's see what you have here.
Larkin will give it to Jones again. He's got room, and he's going to get very close to a 1st down, about an 8-yard gain. I think they tripped him up at the 41-yard line, and that is where they will mark him.
Well, with Isaiah Jones, the way he's been running the ball, I would venture to say they'd try to establish the run with him.
3rd down and 1. They have
big time conversion here for the Rough Riders.
They have remained with the running game most of the night. Isaiah Jones has carried this offense. He did have the costly fumble that you could argue was the difference right now. That might have given Roosevelt the lead late in the 1st half. Fortson goes in motion. Jones gets it again, and he's going to get the 1st down and then some to the 47-yard line of Kent Roosevelt, and that'll move the chains.
Well, again, Roosevelt, you got plenty of time. You know, don't need to panic. Just set up the drive and come down and come away with some points.
Ball spotted just outside the 46-yard line. 1st down and 10. Fans again trying to.
Looks like they got one-on-one right here.
Back into this game. The pitch is to Jones, and he had no room to run.
It looks like that was number 1, DeJuan Barfield. He has been making some big plays tonight for this Ravenna defense.
He played that perfectly almost immediately after he got the pitch. He was down. And that is a loss of 6, and it will be 2nd and 16 for the Rough Riders.
Well, you definitely don't want to get those negative yards, because that really puts you further behind in the game.
6:26 to play in the 3rd quarter. Kent Roosevelt down by 9. They need a spark if they want to get back in this game. High snap, Larkin going to throw for it. Deep down the left side. He's got Lillibridge, incomplete.
Well, a little bit surprised, no pass interference, but it looked like pretty good coverage.
Nice defense by Cameron Hinton there. And it will be 3rd and long.
Well, Larkin, this is a big-time 3rd down for you. What type of play will Coach King draw up here?
need this, and 3rd and 16 is not easy on any level.
Absolutely not.
They
Looks like
can't.
David Mong coming out of the game for the Rough Riders.
Third and 16.
Watch Lillibridge on the left. He's got one-on-one.
3 wide outs at the top of your screen. Shotgun set. Another high snap. Larkin back to throw. He's got time. Rolling left. Throwing to the sideline, and it is caught.
Incomplete.
Out of bounds. Incomplete. Pass was caught by Matthew Lillibridge, but he could not keep his feet in bounds, and it will be 4th down, and I think Kent Roosevelt will have to punt it away.
Heck of an effort there by Lillibridge, but again, Roosevelt forced to punt, doesn't come away with anything on this drive. So now up to the defense to make another key stop.
Another missed opportunity for Kent Roosevelt. Can their defense, which has been struggling all year, step up? Mason Fear will kick it away, and we have a timeout called by Kent Roosevelt. What we talk about in this game, in any game, but in games like this especially, you have to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Revena has taken advantage of them, but other than that first drive, they have pretty much moved the ball at will. Roosevelt has not been able to move the ball. They did score 1 touchdown. They had a chance down by the goal line. They fumbled. This is a game of taking advantage of what's given to you. One side has done it, the other is not.
That's exactly right, TC. Of course, Revena, they're doing, at least in my opinion, they've done everything right so far. Their defense playing a lot better. And meanwhile, Roosevelt, offensively, they just have not been able to get a good rhythm since that first score of the game.
They did have the lead at one point, 7-0, then 7-6. And 16 unanswered points for the Ravenna Ravens. 6:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. Fear will punt it away. Gets it off. This will be Dentigence on the return. He's got a little bit of room. Stiff arm, still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 25-yard line, and we got a penalty flag.
Looks like a holding call here, I would assume. On Revena.
Not sure who this is against.
Looks like they're pointing towards Revena.
I think they are moving it back. This has been, again, we've seen that the color yellow a lot tonight.
Yeah, the loads of penalties in this game. Just drives coaches crazy.
That will bring it all the way back to the 15-yard line, or 16-yard line.
Well, Rough Riders now, you need to come up with a big stop. If you could come up with maybe a turnover, that could really change the game.
That would be huge. And now, again, here's your opportunity. You have given Ravenna not very good field position. Step up. This is where these games are won. Give us to the fullback, Willie Ross. Muscling his way past the 20. That's going to be about a 6-yard gain. Finally wrestled down, but a nice run by the junior fullback. And it will be 2nd and 4 from the 22.
Again, got to stop the running game here if you're Roosevelt. One more turnover could change this game.
5:21 to play in this game. Cross under center in the eye. Gives to Warren Bradley, running left. He's got room. Gets the first down and a lot more. Finally knocked out of bounds just outside the 35-yard line. And again, Warren Bradley gashes up this Roosevelt defense.
Yeah, Warren Bradley, he is just coming around the edge, and it just seems like Roosevelt, no matter what, no matter where he's at, they cannot stop it.
And you know what's coming. We've said that. They know exactly who the ball is going to go to.
But again, that's a credit to the offensive line of Revena. They're getting nice holes for him. He's taking care of business.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 from the 34. Another I formation. Give us to Ross up the middle for a couple of yards. Be 2nd down and long.
Like I said, Roosevelt needs to come up with a stop. they give up any sort of points on this drive, even if they give up a touchdown, this game could get ugly.
If they gave up a touchdown, that would make it 23-7. Still technically a 2-possession game if you get 2-point conversions, but that is a tough mountain to climb, especially when you're not quite yet, but 4:33 remaining in the third quarter. Time is starting to become an issue.
And now it's for Roosevelt. Someone's got to step up here on this defense. Another penalty.
Another flag. I think that's on Roosevelt. They're clapping on the Revena side.
Been the story of the game for the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders. They have been just decimated by all these penalties.
Move it up 5 yards on the offsides penalty. 2nd and 2 from the 42-yard line.
Seems like Roosevelt is playing right into the hands of Revena.
Cross changes things at the line. Gives to Warren Bradley, running right side. Oh, and he's wrestled down on a great tackle by number 73, Alec Boyles.
Yeah, big stop there by Boyles to contain Warren Bradley. That was a really nice play there. And now brings up a critical 3rd down.
Looks like Bradley is a no gain on the play. 3rd down and 2 from the 42. This, as you mentioned, John, is critical.
Absolutely. Looks like I would assume it's going to Bradley again.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? He's been doing it all night long.
He is your lone running back. He gets it on the pitch.
There he goes.
And he's got the 1st down.
And more.
A lot more as he gets across midfield into Kent Roosevelt territory. Another Warren Bradley 1st down run.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I think Warren Bradley can play every position at this point. They cannot contain him. Roosevelt's having trouble.
He is listed as the backup quarterback, so he does have the ability to throw the ball a little bit. He hasn't had to do that so far tonight.
Right.
Although he has lined up a quarterback at times. He'll have to throw one just to cement his position. His game MVP, at least he has been so far.
Absolutely.
And a fake to Ross. Cross kept it himself. Got about 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5 from the 44.
Again, time is definitely not on Roosevelt's side right now.
Derek Cross, we talk about Warren Bradley, but Derek Cross has not done a lot tonight, but he's done what he's needed to do. He's had a couple of great fakes, a couple of nice runs, made a couple of big throws that set up touchdowns.
Just being the game manager.
Absolutely. Bradley gets it again, and he's tripped up just before he can get the 1st down.
And boy, if he doesn't trip up, he's got a really nice gain, I think.
Probably lost about 10 yards because of that. And it will be 3rd and short, 3rd and about 2 from the 41-yard line.
Like we've been saying, Roosevelt needs a big-time stop right here to get that football back.
All right, 3rd down and 2. Again, this is critical. I formation, Bradley the tailback.
Now, you think it's going to Bradley, but I think it's probably going to the fullback here.
Why not give it to Bradley? And that's who gets it. He got another 1st down. Oh my.
He is just dragging that Roosevelt defense with him. Roosevelt, you can tell they are tired and they cannot come up with a stop. Plain and simple.
The great thing about this drive, if you notice, they got the ball with about 4.5 minutes left. They haven't thrown one pass. They are milking that clock.
Right.
I know it's still the 3rd quarter, but when you're up by 9 in a rivalry game, you want to waste as much time as possible and not give the other team a chance to score again. And it helps if you drive toward that goal line.
Yep.
Shotgun set here, 1st down and 10 from the 38. Bradley again, running right.
Still
gets
can't
past
bring
the
him
defenders, and he's going to get a 1st down. I thought for sure they were going to wrestle him down by the line of scrimmage.
But that's just good athleticism by Bradley to cut outside and read his blocks, and he gets another 1st down for the Ravens.
Just ran past everybody.
I mean, this really is a turning point in the game. If Revena scores, this could really be the crushing blow for Roosevelt.
Trying to put the final nail in the coffin. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Again, I formation set. They give it to Ross up the middle. Got a couple of yards to the 25-yard line.
Looks like number 28 for
he's all right.
Roosevelt shaking up. It looks like he's
shaking
all
up
right.
a little bit. That's
Isaiah Jones.
Yeah, Isaiah Jones, who's done a lot running the ball for Kent Roosevelt tonight. He pretty much has been their offense. He's made a couple of nice tackles on the defensive side too.
Right, cannot afford to have him out of the game. He has to make big plays for this defense.
He is going to come out briefly here, but that's the way football used to be played back in the good old days. Everyone played two ways, no matter how good you were.
It looks like it might have been his shoulder or his arm that got hurt on that play.
Does look a bit shaken up. 2nd and 9 from 26. And a high snap over across his head. And Revena got it back.
Boy.
Tony Lewis pounced on it, and that could have been a huge turning point in this game.
You're absolutely right, TC. Roosevelt had a big chance there. Overhead snap, but just couldn't come up with the football.
Couldn't get to it in time. And again, the Ravens breathing a sigh of relief, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Our score from Roosevelt Stadium: Revena 16, Roosevelt 7. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of Kent Ravenna 100 right after this.
Robinson Memorial Hospital, the leading healthcare provider for Portage County, offers convenient access to 9 outpatient centers in 7 locations. We offer state-of-the-art medical facilities to meet all of your healthcare needs, whether it be an annual well visit, ongoing treatments and therapies, or major surgeries. There is no need to travel far when Robinson brings medical experts to you.
I'm Heather Wells, Miss Ohio 2013. What I love about Portage County, and specifically this area with the university, is that it really is just this college town, this small town feel. And when you come on campus, everything just turns to life, and the people in the area are excited about it. That's one of the biggest things I think that I miss.
And welcome back to the fourth quarter here at Kent Ravenna. 100, Ravens up 16-7 as Cross goes back to throw. And that is going to be Voyers on another screen pass, and he's going to get very close to a first down on that one. That was on 3rd and 18. Third and 18
That was a great pass play right there, drawn up by Revena. And looks like they might have got it. I'm not entirely sure.
They're going to get,
And he did get a first down.
I think they gave it to him. No, 4th down. 4th down and 2.
Well, decision time here for Revena.
And I think they're going to, I'm not sure.
Looks like they might have the field goal unit on.
They have Warren, I think they have Warren Bradley lined up as the quarterback.
Yeah,
Why not?
You're right.
3rd down and 2. 4th down and 2. Bradley up the middle in the Wildcat set. He's got it, spinning his way for a lot more inside the 15. Another Ravenna Ravens first down.
When in doubt, go to Warren Bradley. I mean, he just keeps on keeping on. He gets the first down again. He's just a well-oiled machine.
What a game this young man has had on the biggest of stages when it comes to the Portage Trail Conference. And he will remain at quarterback. Wildcat set, 1st and 10 from the 13. Running right, gets a hole, spins his way all the way down to the 5-yard line. About an 8-yard gain. Wow.
Boy, Roosevelt, they're just, they have no answer, plain and simple. They are just getting gashed right now on defense, and it looks like Revena on their way to another score here.
Bradley again in the Wildcat. Takes it up the middle, down to the 2. Actually going to spot him at the 1. And that will be a first down and goal from the 1-yard line. And again, Revena completely in command.
Well, I'm sure I know who this is going to.
Wildcat set again. Bradley up the middle.
I think he's
touchdown, Revena.
Well, TC, that might have just been the dagger in the heart of the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
Well, Yogi Berra always said it ain't over till it's over, but it's going to take quite a miracle, I think, for Roosevelt to overcome this. And the Revena fans go crazy. They can sense it.
Trying to get off trying to get off the losing streak and finally win for the first time in a couple of years.
It's been 4 years since they last beat their arch rival. And I think they might be going for two here. This would make it a 3-possession game. Bradley gets it, rolling right. Can he get in there? Yes.
He's in.
A 2-point conversion. 24-17. That makes it a 3-possession game.
Huge 2-point conversion right there. And now Revena, they can feel it. They are this close from pulling off the win.
With just 10 minutes left, if Roosevelt wants to have any hope at all of coming back, they have to score on this drive.
Absolutely.
No, you have to score on this drive. They know it. Tim King knows it.
And the quarterback, Riley Larkin, knows it. He has to make big plays now.
This is it, and we haven't seen it all night. It's been Isaiah Jones all night, and he's done a pretty good job running the ball. Other than the fumble,
just a one-dimensional offense for Roosevelt.
Now then again, that has worked for Revena, in that it's been Warren Bradley the whole game.
It's been the Warren Bradley show.
They haven't been able to stop it.
No, they have not.
We mentioned the problems with Roosevelt's defense. I said before the game, if they can play up to their potential, they could be on their way to a 4th straight win. If not, it could be a long night for the Rough Riders, and so far, that has been the case. They have not had any answer for Warren Bradley at all tonight.
And it's like a pin dropped on this Roosevelt side. There's not much action from the fans. They're probably stunned, I'm sure.
You've got some fans filing out. Don't leave yet. You never know. Oh, my goodness, on the kickoff.
That was just not what Roosevelt wanted. Steps out of bounds.
Another fundamental error as Trayvon Richardson fields the kickoff too close to the line, and Kent Roosevelt, needing a score, is going to start with horrible field position at their own 6-yard line.
They just cannot catch a break, whether it be the penalties, the turnovers, just simple mistakes, and it's hurting them right now.
All right, let's see what Riley Larkin can do. 1st and 10, 94 yards away from the end zone.
Riley Larkin, this is your time now. You got to rally the troops here.
He will go back to pass. Throwing left side, it's caught by a wide open Luther Fortson, and he's got a lot of room to run all the way down to the 38-yard line. A big gain on the 1st down for Kent Roosevelt. I'm sorry, that was not Luther Fortson, that's Derek Knapp.
No huddle right now for the Rough Riders. That's what one would expect.
Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 37 after a gain of 31. And a whistle was blown. They're still going. That's Fortson, who's going to pick up the 1st down across midfield.
That was just a weird play.
I'm not sure what happened there.
The refs had called time, but the play just kept going on.
It looked like some of the players stopped too, but they're going to give it to him. 1st down at the 49-yard line, and they only burned about 17 seconds on those 2 plays, and they gained 45 yards.
Just like that, TC, they're right in Revena territory.
1st down from the 48. Larkin back to throw. Throwing deep down the left side, incomplete, almost
interference. I would agree.
That's going to be pass interference. That was intended for Derek Knapp. Looked like Rylan Notch on the coverage.
Well, Roosevelt, they're moving the ball now. They score quick.
All of a sudden.
Never know.
Maybe.
Like we said, TC, not over till it's over. Roosevelt getting down there now in Revena territory.
Favorite quote from Yogi Berra ever: "It ain't over till it's over."
That's right. That is right.
No words have ever rung truer in the world of sports. 1st and 10 from the 34 after the pass interference.
Riley Larkin doing a pretty good job on this drive so far.
Trying to rally the troops. Down 24-7. Fortson in motion. Larkin throws left side. He's got Fortson off his fingertips, incomplete.
Yeah, a little bit too high there by Larkin. But at least the good thing is it does stop the clock.
10-18. Wouldn't normally be an issue, but when you're down by 17, time is never your friend.
That's right, TC. I mean, right now, the clock is working against them, and Roosevelt needs to cash in right here, right now.
Second down and 10 from the 34. We mentioned how Riley Larkin might have to air it out. He's done it on this drive, and he's done it well.
Where guys like Brandon Knapp and Lilbridge have to come up big here.
Quick pass, and it's caught. And the ball comes loose.
No, they ruled it incomplete.
Incomplete pass.
And it looks like Revena doesn't realize, Revena fans look like they don't realize that
don't realize it yet, but it is incomplete.
Yeah,
and we have an injury. The player who caught the ball is injured, and we will take a timeout. We'll be back to Roosevelt Stadium right after these messages.
Here at Parta, our #1 priority is your.
We want to make sure that when you ride Parta, you get to your destination safely.
You can help us by letting us know if something is out of the ordinary, like if someone is acting suspicious.
Or if there's an unattended bag or package, let the driver know and we'll take it from there.
By keeping alert, we can make the ride safer for all of us.
For over 3 generations, the Duma family has been serving fresh meats and deli products to the people of Portage County.
Hi, I'm Dave Duma. Our family-operated business is our livelihood. And when it comes to banking, we bank with Portage Community Bank. We are treated as if we are the only customers of the bank. When I talked to Kevin about borrowing money, he said, Dave, just remember, we do not loan money to businesses, we loan money to people.
Stop by today to see how we can serve you.
Welcome back to Roosevelt Stadium as Brandon Knapp is being helped off the field. He's going mostly under his own power. He took a shot.
Oh, you're not
on
kidding,
that incomplete
TC.
Pass.
Looks like holding his arm or possibly chest.
Might have got the wind knocked out of him. Who knows?
I would assume so, yes.
That was a heck of a hit he took. But it will be now 3rd down and 10 for Kent Roosevelt as Riley Larkin tries to pick up this big 3rd down. Rolling left. Throwing left side. It is incomplete. And that will bring up 4th down, and I got to think they're going to go for it.
Yeah, I think at this point you have to go for it. You got 10 minutes to go, 4th down. Now or never right now for the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
It was intended for David Mong. It went off his fingertips. If they don't get this here, you might want to call up Don Meredith to start singing Turn Out the Lights.
Turn out the lights.
Not yet. Not yet. Oh, I love Don Meredith. I wouldn't.
He was great. Yeah.
I wasn't even alive to watch the old Monday Night Football, the Howard and Don show they used to call it. Monday Night Football has never been the same. All right, 4th down and 10 from the 34.
Do or die.
Larkin, rolling left, throwing. It's caught. 1st down inside the 20.
Luther Fortson.
He's their big play receiver. And he came up big there on a must-get 4th down.
Now keeps the drive alive for Roosevelt. They get the score here, make it a 2-possession game. Never know.
Ball spotted at the 16 or 17. 1st down and 10. Down by 17. Larkin with protection. Pass is caught. Luther Fortson, 1st and goal. Rough Riders. You mentioned that he is.
Actually, he's just short. 2nd down.
Oh, they're going to rule it 2nd down. Okay. From the 10. They give it to Isaiah Jones. That's going to be close.
Actually, he looks like he lost a yard.
Not sure. No, he gained a yard, but I'm not sure. He did not get the 1st down.
No, once again, another 3rd down play.
This is big.
Got to have it here.
That's the first. I think that's the first running play of this drive for Kent Roosevelt.
Well, I think if you're Roosevelt, though, you might be inclined to go for a field goal because again, it is a 3-possession game.
Did lose a yard. 3rd down and 3 from the 9. And there's a penalty flag.
What else is new?
Oh, my goodness.
It's been the Achilles heel for this Roosevelt team
They
all
are
night.
pointing. It's a false start against Roosevelt, and now a 3rd and short becomes a 3rd and long with one wave of a handkerchief. Man. Well, John, what do you do here? You got, I would assume, you got to think Larkin throwing it here, right? It's worked so far on the drive.
Larkin he's got to find his guys. I mean, like I said, you got your receivers,
Fortson.
Littlebridge, Fortson, Jones. Who will he throw to on this one?
This is 4-down territory, we would assume. Almost intercepted.
Wow.
Tipped by Bobby Voyers.
Well, I think here I would think you'd have to go for a field goal here. You got to get points.
And I think that's what they're going to do.
I don't think I've seen the kicker out yet, so they might be going for it here.
That would make it a 2-possession game, although Larkin is discussing it with the coaching staff.
Of course, this is always a big decision.
And
here.
Larkin's going back on the field. I don't know if I agree with this.
I don't agree with it either, TC. I would have taken points.
I understand why you're doing it, but if you do need points, a field goal does make it a 2-possession game. You may not.
With 2 timeouts.
That could be the difference.
Let's
All right, 4th and 8 from the 14. Larkin throwing over the middle. It's caught for the touchdown. Isaiah Jones does it again.
Just what the doctor ordered. Roosevelt comes back with an answer, and with a little over 8 minutes, hold on, folks, this game's not over.
8:14 to play. It's 24-13. John, call me stupid. They did what I said they shouldn't do, and they scored a touchdown.
And it worked, yeah.
That's
they,
why
they,
I'm
they
not.
fooled us on that one.
That's why I'm not coaching around.
They proved us wrong.
All right, Mason Fear out for the extra point to make it a 10-point game. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. 24-14 with 8:14 to go. Hold everything, folks. We're not just done yet. We shall see.
Plenty of time now for Kent. Now they just need to come up with some big stops, come the other end with an answer, and potential onside kick, and you never know.
I would assume they have to. Here's the thing: you are going to kick it away, but now the defense has to step up. The offense did their job.
Exactly.
The defense, which has had problems all night,
You're right.
now has to return the favor.
That's right, Kent Roosevelt. They definitely need to come up with a stop here because, again, the offense has done their job right there. Now they need to come up with a big stop, preferably even a turnover, to get themselves the ball back and have a chance to make this a really, really close game.
That touchdown snaps a string of 24 unanswered points by Revena. And if all of a sudden, if Roosevelt can get a stop here and then get the ball back, they'd have plenty of time left. We got a ball game again. But the key there, they have to get a stop. Mason Fear will kick it away.
Roosevelt certainly needs some help from their crowd right now.
Revena has sent nobody back deep.
Might be thinking onside kick. And it is an onside kick.
There's a penalty flag.
Somebody moved.
I think that was offsides. Offsides on the kicking team.
Yes, illegal procedure.
I am a bit surprised. I know you want to score points, but I am a bit surprised they're going for the onside because, again, if you kick it away, get the stop, you're going to get the ball back with 6-7 minutes left. You got plenty of time.
Minutes, yeah, plenty of time.
That may be
Roosevelt.
That may be Tim King saying, "I don't trust my defense."
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more on that one, TC. Roosevelt's defense has been, at times, pretty abysmal at times.
Maybe a bit harsh, but.
Well, maybe not so much abysmal, but they just haven't made.
Let's keep in mind
stops.
they are going up against a stud in Warren Bradley. All right, try number 2. Onside kick. Revena's got it.
Revena got it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not sure I would have gambled, especially with this much time left. Still got 8 minutes.
8:12 to play. First down, Revena at the 45-yard line.
Roosevelt needs a big-time play right here.
They need a stop.
stop, turnover, anything.
You got to. Well, what's your game plan if you're Revena?
Well, I mean, again, I guess establish the run with Bradley.
Bradley up the middle, Bradley right, Bradley left.
Yep.
He is lined up as the tailback.
Possibly give it to the fullback here. Ball control.
Bradley gets it. Runs into a sea of red. Didn't get much. And it'll be second and long. Second down and 8 from the 43-yard line.
Now Roosevelt just got to find a way to contain him, but just try to bring him down because Bradley has been all over the place tonight.
Packed house here at Roosevelt Stadium. Fans on the home side hoping for a miracle.
Yeah, you can feel the tension right now in the air in this game.
Second and 8. Bradley with his 35th carry of the game. He has been a workhorse tonight.
Well, third down now for Revena. Now it's time for the Roosevelt defense to step up and make a big-time stop. Doesn't seem like the crowd's getting into it right now.
3rd and 5 from the 40. Can the defense step up? Bradley, your tailback. I got to think Roosevelt's expecting him to get the ball.
Absolutely. It's the fullback.
No,
it is Bradley.
Fake. That's going to be very close. It looks like they're spotting him short.
I think he is short, TC.
Just by about a yard.
Well,
Decision
just
time
what
for
Roosevelt
Jim
needed. They stop him on 3rd down.
But now at 4th and short, you go for it if you're Jim Lenardi.
Well, Revena, they have the 10-point lead, and like I said, this could really be a big-time conversion here.
This could be.
I guess you got to gamble. I guess that's just how it goes.
Bradley again will line up in a Wildcat. It's worked all night. Why not now? 4th and 2. He gets it. He's got the first down.
Got more and then some. He got the first and then some.
Inside the 35. And again, Kent Roosevelt does not have an answer for number 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on fire all night long. He's just running all over people tonight.
So first down and 10. And Warren Bradley is on the sidelines here, getting a much-needed rest.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. Got to give him a rest.
37 carries tonight. I think he deserves a breather.
Absolutely.
Bobby Boyers is lined up as the tailback. 1st and 10. They give it to Willie Ross. Going to get about 3 yards to the 30.
Again, good old ball control. That's what Revena's doing right now, and it's working. A couple more first downs and a score, and this game is pretty much over.
Well, the Roosevelt fans, again, they don't want to give up just yet, but you know they have to feel it slipping away right now.
Right, it's just getting out of hand right now for the Rough Riders.
2nd and 7. Bradley back in the game, gets it here. Man, another nice run. He will not go down in the first hit.
He won't be denied. He will not be denied. Warren Bradley just continues to exert his will on this Kent Roosevelt defense.
So many yards after contact for number 3 tonight, and that will make it 3rd and short.
Well, first down here, and I think you could pretty much put an end to this one.
From the 23, 3rd and 1, Bradley in the Wildcat. Running it right. He's got the first down and then some.
Hold the phone, folks. There's a flag on the play.
There's a penalty flag. This could be coming back.
This could be a big break for Roosevelt with the penalty here.
That would make it 3rd and long. That would certainly give them a little bit of an opening. And also,
looks like it might be a hold here.
We have yet to see a sign from the, and they're moving back. This is against Revena. Holding against Revena, and that will make it 3rd and 11.
Big time penalty right there. Now Kent Roosevelt trying to get a stop here on 3rd down.
That knocks Revena out of field goal range, just 4:07 left. So they do have to gain a little bit of yards, even if they want to even try a field goal here, but that would still be a 2-possession
Well, Roosevelt
game.
knows who it's going to. It's going to Warren Bradley here.
Wildcat set again. 3rd and 11. He's going to run, and he's going to be stopped in the backfield. Big stop right there.
Wow, what a great open field tackle that was.
Number 27, Kevin Bozeman on the stop.
Yeah, Bozeman, that was a big-time stop there. Brings up 4th down, and now for Roosevelt, you get the ball back under 4 minutes. You get a drive. You never know.
Roosevelt does call a timeout. They have 1 remaining with 3:58 to go.
I hate to say it, TC, but just imagine if Roosevelt would have scored right before the half had they not have fumbled. This
That
could be a
fumble
whole totally
makes
different game.
the difference right here. They could be looking to tie the game or possibly go ahead.
Right. It's
now
the turnover battle.
Now you're going to need to be quick. No huddle did work pretty well on the last drive.
Absolutely.
They converted on 4th down twice, although the difference in this game, I would say, we've mentioned how the defense for Kent has not been effective. The offense has also not been very effective. Kent Roosevelt just 2 of 10 on 3rd down conversions tonight.
That's what I've been saying. 3rd down conversions are key for any game. When you convert those 3rd downs, you control the tempo of the game. You control the line of scrimmage.
On their defense, they don't have the same advantage that Revena does. Revena, their strategy, just give it to Bradley, get the 1st down, and move the chains.
That's right. That's their philosophy. Give it to Bradley.
I'm sure a lot of teams in the PTC would love to have Warren Bradley on their squad.
Absolutely.
3:58 to go. Revena 24, Roosevelt 14.
Right here, if you're Revena, and looks like they might be punting here, and if so, they have a chance to really pin them deep. And of course, for Roosevelt, you don't want that to happen. You want to give it a touchback.
And now Revena calls a timeout. Both teams now have 1 remaining. What a great... It's games like this. You just got to sit back when you're calling it and just go, wow.
Yeah.
What an intense rivalries. And this is what's
it's
great.
It's the epitome of a rivalry.
This is what's great about, and we all know when it comes to sport, Ohio's a football state. Northeast Ohio, football is king. And
Absolutely.
You have so many, people here, they root for the Browns on Sunday. They root for Ohio State on Saturday. And on Friday nights, they cling to their local teams. And the rivalries in this area, Massillon and Canton McKinley has got to be the biggest.
That's down in my neck of the woods. That's a big-time rivalry.
Just St. Edward, St. Ignatius is another big one.
Mention.
This is right up there in terms of intensity. All right, this is going to be a punt attempt. Shane Polidoro trying to pin him deep.
Wow.
And they will inside the 10-yard line.
Just saying, Revena really needed to pin Roosevelt deep, and they did it right there.
Well, they did on the last time too, but
they moved the ball
They were able to go 94 yards in only about 2.5 minutes. Just 3:51 left. They need to score twice, the Rough Riders. Ball spotted at the 7-yard line, 1st down. 24-14 Revena. 3 wide outs at the bottom of your screen.
See if Larkin can wing the ball again.
Larkin back to throw. Throwing left side. Pass is caught.
And incomplete.
Not going to get. No, they're going to. Yeah, they're going to rule that it bounced. Okay, incomplete. He caught it on the bounce.
Right.
And that will make it 2nd and 10. 3:46 to go. Luther Fortson comes back into the game at receiver.
Like I said, Roosevelt needs to dial up a big-time pass play here to help him get down deep in territory.
What a 93-yard touchdown pass.
Boy, would that be something.
That would work.
Long bomb.
2nd and 10. Larkin rolling right, under pressure, and he's going to be sacked in the end zone. That's a safety.
Wow.
And the Revena defense comes up big yet again.
Boy, again, Larkin, football, man. You can't sit there back in the end zone because that Revena defense was coming for you.
Larkin had no time to throw.
No, he did not.
Those blue and white shirts just swarming in on him.
Really a credit to this Revena defense. I know the first couple weeks they weren't nearly as good as they wanted to be. These last 2 weeks, their defense has made some huge plays.
One right there. It's now 26-14, Revena Ravens. And we see it now more and more, Kent fans filing out of the stadium. They can sense it. There is a free kick after safety. I would assume Roosevelt will be able to try for the onside kick.
Yeah, again, Roosevelt just too many mistakes and just constantly. Revena basically has to recover a couple first downs and this ball game's over.
Well, they will set up for the free kick.
Well, at least the Roosevelt band's getting into it.
They cannot do, they have to punt it because it's a safety.
Exactly.
And they will try for the onside.
It's going out of bounds.
Goes out of bounds. That will be Revena football. And now you want to serenade us, Mr. Meredith?
Turn out the lights, the party's over.
They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year, we'll do the same old thing again.
OTC.
God bless you, Don Meredith. And for those of you watching who don't know who Don Meredith is, look it up.
Greatest guy in sports. Monday Night Football was never the same.
Might have been a Hall of Famer had it not been for a little team called the Green Bay Packers beating his Dallas Cowboys.
That's right.
They ran into some coach named Vince Lombardi.
You know, won a couple Super Bowls, no big deal.
It's going to be Willie Ross
Number 28, Willie Ross.
on the run.
Stopping number 72, Frank Brown.
But again, now looks like Ravenna's on their way to being 2-0 in conference play. Of course, Roosevelt, they lose here, still winless in PTC play.
Their playoff hopes, after making the playoffs the last few years, you could say at 1-4, they're about dashed. Pretty much over. Ravenna's still got an outside chance. Not a great one, but an outside. But at 1-4, Roosevelt, you'd have to say this would be a death knell for their November hopes for playing in November. I stopped there on Ross.
Loss of one on the play, it makes it 3rd and 6.
And it will be 3rd down and 7 from the 44.
Yeah, Revena, they've just done a great job offensively, especially on the ground.
I don't think they've thrown a pass in the second half.
No, not one. It's been all Warren Bradley.
And he gets it here, and he's going to be stuffed this time.
Well, got to stop here.
Kevin Bozeman, among others, in on the tackle.
Just over 2 minutes. Roosevelt got to get the ball, score pronto, and then try to get the onside kick. I mean, that's it.
4th down and 6. 2:17 to play, and Kent Roosevelt calls its last timeout. as the band tries to fire up the Roosevelt side, but a lot of the fans, sensing what is about to occur, have already made their way to the parking lot.
That's right. Man, it'd be a big, certainly, like I said, to win the 100th installment of this rivalry for Revena, be pretty big. Well, and again, it kind of shows that maybe Revena is better in the PTC than Roosevelt. I'm not saying that might be true, but
maybe. Well, I think tonight probably would be a good indication of that, beating them in the way that they have. They certainly weren't last year. Revena 2-8 last season, the worst season under head coach Jim Lenardi.
And granted, they did have some really tough losses.
At the same time, they found ways to lose a lot of those games, and that's what poor teams would do. And they were 2-8 last year. You are what your record says you are, but I think now a game like this has to be a major confidence booster.
Absolutely. For Roosevelt, definitely be a tough one.
They will punt it away. Line drive kick, Luther Fortson, and he might have touched it. Continues to return it. Going to be brought down at the 12-yard line. He took a hit, and the ball came out.
I think the officials might have ruled him down. I'm not sure if they did.
And we've got Luther Fortson is down.
Looks like he's getting help from the coaching.
Luther Fortson is getting up now.
Medical staff.
He took a nasty hit on the knees. And we're going to take a quick timeout while they tend to Luther Fortson. We'll be back right after this.
Robinson Memorial Hospital, the leading healthcare provider for Portage County, offers convenient access to 9 outpatient centers in 7 locations. We offer state-of-the-art medical facilities to meet all of your healthcare needs, whether it be an annual well visit, ongoing treatments and therapies, or major surgeries. There is no need to travel far when Robinson brings medical experts to you.
Welcome back to Roosevelt Stadium. Luther Fortson was just helped off the field. He looked like he took a nasty hit to the knee, and
he sure did.
He got up initially, then had to be brought back down again. I certainly hope he's okay. They are still tending to him on the sideline.
It's not a good sign for Kent Roosevelt. That's a big-time player right there.
You hate to see that to anybody, especially to a player as talented as Luther Fortson. All right, first down. Larkin going to throw it right side. The pass is caught by Alec Mastroni.
Wow, Mastroni, that was a great catch as he picks up the first down. Of course, clock running under 2 minutes. Now let's see if Roosevelt
great catch
hurry
there.
up.
1:58 to play.
It's first and 10 from their 35-yard line.
Not sure if Luther Fortson will be able to return to this game. Larkin back to throw. Going left side, incomplete.
Wow.
He had Brandon Knapp open, but he just missed him. It's been that kind of night for Kent Roosevelt.
Yeah, just some drop passes, some key mistakes, fumbles, penalties, simple things that could have just as easily been avoided.
And I definitely say that they're going to be hearing a lot about that this week in practice.
Absolutely. It's going to be a week in practice for the Rough Riders, I'm sure.
Well, and even Revena, they played a great game tonight, and they should enjoy this, but I guarantee you Jim Lenardi is going to have them probably by Monday. He's going to say, great win, now move on to next week.
That's kind of like the philosophy. I mean, me being a Notre Dame fan, that's kind of philosophy that Brian Kelly. You move on to the next game. You take this win, but you say, okay, we're moving on.
That's what makes Brian Kelly such a good coach.
Absolutely.
Third down, Larkin. Or it's first down, second down, and that pass is going to be caught at the 40-yard line. A sliding
moving
grab.
Down now. You got to hurry.
Derek Knapp on the reception. Roosevelt will play at Springfield next week. Revena will take on Norton, who was winless coming into this week. Larkin, quick throw. Pass is caught by David Mong inside the 30, and another Roosevelt first down.
Well, again, if they can score a touchdown here, get the onside kick, you never know.
1:30 to play. Roosevelt does not have a timeout left, down 26-14. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line. 3 wide outs at the top of the picture. Larkin, quick pass on the right side, and it's going to be caught by Mastroni, still on his feet down to the 5, and it's 1st and goal. I thought somebody might have been grabbing a hold of his jersey. It wasn't called, but nonetheless, Mastroni makes a great catch. And wait a second now, Kent Roosevelt.
Trying to pull off a comeback here.
Hold on.
Hold the phone.
Minute 18 to play. 1st and goal from the 5. Larkin under center, he's going to spike it.
Smart.
Minute 16 left, and that'll make it 2nd and goal.
The good thing with that is now get a couple shots in the end zone.
Got to score a touchdown, get the onside kick, score again.
But it's like we mentioned a little bit earlier, TC, again, had Roosevelt not have fumbled late in that first half, this could be putting them ahead.
Yes,
perhaps.
They could be, a field goal might have tied it. They get the extra point. Or, who knows? Well, 26-14.
Exactly.
Would have been a 6-point game. But yeah, they could have been looking to go ahead. All right, 2nd and goal. Larkin lobbing it to the end zone. Incomplete. They're going to call that on you every time. I believe that's Warren Bradley on the interference. Bradley doubles as a defensive back. He was all over the intended receiver.
And that's a call that officials will make every single time.
He had his back to the football, didn't even make a play at the pass. And you're right, every time you are never going to get away with that.
That puts the ball right near the goal line.
Spotted at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal. Minute 13 to play. 4 wide for Kent Roosevelt. Luther Fortson is back in the game.
Well, good to see him out there. Let's see, maybe it goes to him on this play. The official is pointing at the ref for something. Looks like the marker.
Yes. They got to make sure it's at, because this is a, okay, they're going to roll it 2nd down, I suppose. And now another penalty flag. Oh, it's against Revena.
Well, now Revena a little bit self-destructing here on defense.
Oh. And that will put the ball at the 1-yard line.
Nelly's encroachment against the Ravens. Half the distance to the goal.
Well, Roosevelt got to cash in here.
First step from the 1. Up in the air, incomplete. Pass was tipped. There was a collision there.
Boy, he got pressure on that one.
Certainly so. Pass was intended for Lillibridge.
Now again, 2 down territory here for the Rough Riders.
3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. They have to score a touchdown. A minute 8 to play.
Well, Fortson, he's on the left there.
And official timeout is they're discussing something with
looks like
Coach Tim King.
Something. Not sure exactly what they're saying.
Fans on the Revena side going crazy. The student section.
I can see some of the facial expressions on the Roosevelt side. They're not happy about something.
All right, 3rd and 1 from the 1. Larkin lobs it to the end zone, incomplete, and another interference call.
Flag.
Pass was intended for Mastroni, and they're going to call that on number 7, Cameron Hinton.
Nelly's pass interference against the Ravens.
Boy, it just seems like right now Revena's just trying to let them score with all these penalties now.
Nelly moves the ball half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance to the goal. a lot of penalties in this game from both sides, and I guarantee you both coaches are going to
refs getting their money's worth. Huh?
That's something that both teams are going to have to clean up this week.
Roosevelt trying to plow it in here.
3rd and 1 from the 1. Larkin throwing it to Jones. Touchdown, Roosevelt.
Isaiah Jones.
And all of a sudden, as Marty Schottenheimer would say, there's a gleam, men. There's a gleam. 26-20 with 1:01 to play.
And again, it comes down to the onside kick. You never know what could happen. Of course, the extra point, always something critical.
Mason Fear to make it 26-21. He's got it. 1:01 to play. Roosevelt, no timeouts remaining.
Again, this is where, as a kicker, you have to have the strategy. How are you going to go kick this onside kick? Do you put a little bit of air on it? Do you kick it straight? Something to think about for the kicker.
This, the ever important, so little of these are ever executed with success.
Exactly. Exactly.
And in a situation like this, against your arch rival, in front of your home fans, the chances aren't great, but you know what? Stranger things have happened.
They were able, if they're able to recover here, wow, you never know.
Mason
Roosevelt showing signs of life.
Mason Fear will come out for the onside kick.
That's where, again, on the onside kick, you got to get your speedsters over there to try to recover this.
He will be kicking it to the left side.
And that's where all
far side of the field.
All their receivers and all that sort of thing are over on that side.
All right, here we go. Ball came loose.
Looks like he recovered. Looks like Revena did.
Revena's got it, and the Ravens will win this game 26-21, a hard-fought battle in the 100th edition of this great rivalry.
TC, I wouldn't expect anything less. These two teams, they battled it out. Roosevelt, they kept fighting, but again, they made some critical mistakes on both sides of the ball, and it cost them.
All Derek Cross will have to do is kneel it a couple of times, and that will do it. What a great win for this program. And for the seniors, 0-3 against Roosevelt. They have never beaten their arch rival. They will come out. They will get to say to their kids, I beat them. I beat the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders.
That's
and
right.
I did it in the 100th game.
Exactly right, TC. The 100th game, and these seniors for Revena come up with a win. Something you can tell your kids for many years to come.
And the fans going nuts on the Revena side. He'll only have to kneel it once more.
Well, they deserve to the way they played. They had a hard-fought victory.
Takes a knee. And the losing streak is nevermore. The Revena Ravens knock off the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders 26-21.
What a game.
John, any final thoughts on what you saw today?
Well, again, I look at Revena. They established the run, which a lot of good teams do. They grounded and pounded. They took advantage of opportunities on both sides of the ball, and they came up with a very hard-fought victory.
We'd like to thank our tech crew here for helping us put on this show for you guys, and to all of you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the 100th edition of this great game. We're going to now send it over to our people back at our Franklin Hall studio for a final wrap-up and analysis, and that'll do it for us here at the stadium. For John Huntsman, I'm Tyra Carey. Have a good night, everybody.
We're all connected in this. La 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 la.
and welcome to the post-game show of the Kent Ravenna 100th anniversary rivalry game. Jake, what a game that was. The Ravenna Ravens breaking that 3-game losing streak in the rivalry, pulling this one out 26-21.
Great game, great game. Kent really made it close down the stretch. We saw some great plays, and without further ado, let's check out all the action we have for you there in the second half.
Pick things up. Warren Bradley ends at quarterback. He goes up the gut for the touchdown, and they would go for the 2-point conversion to follow.
Sneaky quick, Mr. Warren Bradley. And here he is again, dominating the show today. He goes outside there for the 2-point conversion. This made it 24-7 in favor of Revena.
Now we'll pick things up in the fourth quarter. Kent Roosevelt with the ball. Riley Larkin, he's looking down the middle, and he is nearly picked off by Brandon Knapp.
A little Ike Taylor syndrome there, the stone hands. But Riley Larkin, he would get it back. Isaiah Jones, how about this man? Across the middle, he's a big body, not bringing it down. 24-14, Ravens, they cut it within 10.
Now Kent Roosevelt with the ball, however, bad news for them. Riley Larkin rolls deep in his own end zone and is sacked for the safety. Sean Roberts and Rylan Notch on the tackle. That puts up the Ravens on top, 26-14.
Safety, you do not see that every day. Here you have Mr. Larkin. He goes down the sideline. Alec, this is very similar to the play in the first half. Look at that, down the sideline. He gets it deep into Ravens territory, setting up possibly a dramatic finish.
Possibly, and we say possibly because they would score right here. Riley Larkin finds Isaiah Jones for the easy score, but that would not be enough for the Rough Riders. They go on to lose this game 26-21. Look at the fans. The Ravens are loving this.
Huge victory in the rivalry. Absolutely huge. Great way to kick off the 100th game between these two powerhouses.
Absolutely. Now, Jake, let's talk about this game real quick. I mean, a lot of people were thinking Kent Roosevelt, you know, they had the home team advantage. They were going to win. Not the case tonight.
I'll tell you what, before we even get into the field of play, you got to give the Ravens fans some credit. They really brought it. They were really bringing the atmosphere. I thought they propelled, you know, Warren Bradley and some of the other Ravens to really perform out there on the field, even though they were at Kent.
Absolutely. Now, I think the downfall for Kent, though, 3 for 11 on third down conversions. I mean, whenever you can't get your first downs, I think that really took it away from them.
I look to what we said at halftime. You asked me the keys coming into the second half of play, and Larkin, I said he needed to probably implement some more things, and that's a large reason why on the third down conversion they were struggling. I think they were kind of one-dimensional with Jones running up the gut, ground and pound, and when it came down to it, they're running the clocks, approaching 000s. They couldn't get it done in the pass game.
And those two guys we were talking about halftime, Isaiah Jones, Warren Bradley. Bradley added another touchdown. Isaiah Jones had 2. They both had 3 on the night. Bradley had 41 carries and 3 touchdowns. I mean, those guys.
41 carries. Get that man an ice bath.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll tell you what, in a game like this, big rivalry game, those two players showed up, and that's why we love this game. You have players like this in the spotlight. You had a huge crowd there. They really showed up, and it made it entertaining for both you and I, and I'm sure all the other fans in attendance.
Absolutely. Well, we hope it was entertaining for those of you at home. Thank you for joining us and watching this historic rivalry. Kent Ravenna 100 wraps up. That's all we have here for our post-game show. I'm Sean Eiler. He's Jake Young. Thank you for tuning in.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University. Streaming online at tv2ksu.com.
I'm Heather Wells, Miss Ohio 2013. What I love about Portage County, and specifically this area with the university, is that it really is just this college town, this small town feel. And when you come on campus, everything just turns to life, and the people in the area are excited about it. That's one of the biggest things I think that I miss.
Stay connected to Kent Wired wherever, whenever. Breaking news, local deals, and more free for your Apple or Android device.